Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more 0 Hour, and welcome back to the best of 15 epic challenge between two epic players. We've got ExCaL versus Size. This is a $50 sponsored challenge by Pret and aka Baloney. Now I've got a super special surprise for you actually. We're actually going to have a co-commentator on today. So we need to get them on Discord now. The co-commentator is going to be SYBERT CNC. He has like over 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. His link to his channel is in the description. And we're going to get him on the phone right now. So yeah, he mainly casts like CNC3. CNC3 and Kane's Wrath and Red Alert 3, stuff like that. I mean, you can check out his channel. But I thought it'd be good if we do a collab, since two of the biggest English CNC casters get together and do a stream. So we're going to have him on. I'm going to get him on the phone now. I've actually missed a call from him already. So we're going to get him on right now. Yo, SYBERT, can you hear me?
Yeah, got you.
Yo.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, man. Live stream is a go, and I've just introduced your channel, giving people a link to your channel.
Oh, okay. That's not just like music on the starting soon screen.
It was that, but now people are aware that we're gonna have a special guest.
All right. So how's my audio on your end then?
It sounds pretty good. Your voice sounds loud and clear. I just need to make sure actually when we're inside the game that I can still hear you nicely.
All right. And then can you do something for me?
Yeah, sure.
Can you record just your mic on your end? For the VOD? Like through Audacity or something?
What, you mean mute you?
No, like just record your mic through like Audacity or something.
Oh. Never really used Audacity. I know what Audacity is, but how come though? What are you thinking?
Oh, so then you can send me your audio, because I have my system set up so I can record the game sounds separately from your audio. And then that way I can control the volume of all three for the edit.
Okay. I would have been able to do that in OBS, but since it's already live, I don't think I can change that now, because I think you can record it as separate tracks. Yeah. I don't really have Audacity installed at the moment. Is there another way around it? Can you just record it as one or not?
I can, but then... I
suppose maybe when we go into the game, maybe just... put the game sounds lower. If anything, it's probably better to have that lower, unless you want to prioritize the game sounds. Yeah, I don't really fancy installing something now whilst I've already got the stream live.
Right. I wonder. Is the lobby up?
Yeah, the game is open. It's got a password on it, so I'm going to type you the password in Discord, just so people don't go randomly joining it.
Right.
So yeah, you should see it. It's in if you're looking on Game Ranger for the games, if you filter by the little green icon, because the green icon means the games are in play. So if you click that, then all the open games go down to the bottom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you should see ExCaL versus Size live stream.
One, 2, 3 isn't a very good password.
That usually is my password, but I thought ahead today.
You got it all figured out.
Next level streams.
All right, if we can delay by just like...
By how long? Sorry, I missed that.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. My recording setup is less volatile than yours.
Okay.
So
Do you need me to turn... Well, actually, I can't turn my mic down, actually. I've got it all set up nicely. Is there anything I can do to help?
you can record on your... Dang it, no, I can't do it. All right.
Well, I'll just say a nice warm welcome to everyone in the chat, by the way. This is SYBERT, CNC caster. I've put a link to his channel in the description. He does mainly CNC3, Kane's Wrath, Red Alert, is that right?
Yeah, Red Alert 3, Kane's Wrath. If you like good 0-hour commentary, don't come over to my channel.
I've seen you have done a few 0-hour ones, so that's what made me think to contact you.
Yeah, well, like I love playing 0-hour as a kid. I loved playing. We actually didn't have internet fast enough for online play, and so I just played a lot of skirmishes.
Yeah.
And then, as it turns out, people who are actually good at the game are there's a lot more going on than my level of skill. So I do cast some 0-hour, but not a lot.
Well, maybe if you enjoy this one, we'll teach you a few things in today's stream, or watching two of the best players play, and then maybe we'll see you back sometime.
Hopefully, I mean, all right. I appreciate you you bearing with me here.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, can you speak for me?
Yeah. Hello, testing.
Perfect.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Now I've got your audio separate. I've got my audio separate, and I'll have the game separate. So
Okay.
I've solved the problem on my end.
All right, I'm glad. I feel bad now because I didn't have Audacity. I only recently uninstalled that, actually, because I figured I wasn't using it. But
yeah, and I didn't even have it. And so, like, I have the software I use for recording my voice. But anyways, I'm sure this is what people are here to see. So us jammering on about behind-the-scenes production.
All right, are we ready to go, or you need to test anything else?
Yeah, it occurs to me I don't actually know how to.
Well, I can press start. As soon as I press start, though, it's going to boot 0-hour on your PC as well.
Great. Okay, that's what I want. I do nothing, and it just works.
Yeah. You might need to press yes to a warning message. So just see if it comes up now.
How about that? This is the fun of live production when you're doing something for the first time.
Yeah, it's cool. It's all fun and games. And like you say, watching live is a different feel to it than watching a replay when it might be out of sync and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's always so futzy trying to do replays when there isn't a good system for it. Like StarCraft 2 has a pretty good system for dual casting replays, and
oh yeah, StarCraft 2. I never thought about that, actually, casting replays. They have a better system for it, do they?
Yeah, I mean, nobody does it, but they have a better system for it.
Okay, so, right. It's a set matchups and maps today, so I need to remember what map tank and air is on.
Yeah, talk me through that. What I keep seeing in your 0-hour tournaments that you guys are running over there,
yeah,
there are set matchups on set maps. That's nuts.
So
I don't know anyone else who does that.
I think in like CNC3 and Kane's Wrath, I think there's quite a lot of balance involved. Like you get GDI against Nord, or you get GDI against Screen. It's kind of balanced, yeah? Am I right in saying that?
Yes. Generally speaking. No specifics, yes.
So in 0-hour, you've obviously got the 12 generals. You've got like China Vanilla or China Tank. You've got USA Air Force or Laser. And because there's so many, and because EA kind of rushed it and didn't do that many balance patches, there is quite a few imbalances in it. So, for example, if you had Air Force against Super Weapon General, it's probably a 99% victory for Air Force, unless you have like a major mistake, for example.
Wow, okay, so the community just essentially boiled down what are all of the most fair matchups, and then we play one each direction, or is it like we play one, someone chooses something, and then we move on to the next match? Do they both play both generals?
Yeah, they both do, yeah, so it's in reverse.
Okay.
So now we'll see tank air, and both people will get to play tank and the air.
Huh, how about that? That's crazy.
So yeah, I didn't really think about that, but yeah, it is significantly different as opposed to like Kane's Wrath, where someone will outright choose, I guess, GDI, or they'll choose random or whatever.
Yeah, and like in StarCraft, choosing factions is so much more locked down that like in Brood War tournaments, you actually aren't allowed to change your faction after the tournament starts. So like if you start as Terran, you can't change to Zerg or Protoss partway through.
Yeah, and I suppose like in StarCraft 2, like people master one race, don't they? They will always stick with I don't know what Terran or whatever.
Oh yeah, like the rare exception to that being like Flash recently played random and did quite well. But like when you have the best like Terran guy in the world, and then he plays a tournament and he gets Terran like 50% of the time playing random, it works out in his favor.
Yeah, Flash is a beast of a player. Probably one of the best RTS players, or the best RTS player ever, I think.
Oh, that's what the StarCraft guys say. I guess it's hard to compare one to the other.
Okay, so we're about to kick off. Do you want to introduce your video or anything anything you want to say before we start?
Oh, I was actually going to do that separately.
Okay.
I was going to do a little intro, because you're doing the actual stream, so we have the actual live production happening, and I'll do all of my stuff in the edit.
Okay, no problem.
But I'm very excited for Size versus ExCaL, but I'm also excited to hear your take on all of this stuff. So,
have you heard of these players before, Size and ExCaL?
Oh yeah, like I've cast them numerous times, but it's been so infrequent, so much time in between that I forget all the details.
Okay, well this map we're on right now is quite a newish map. So whilst you've only just received it by the transfer, probably like us and the viewers, we haven't seen it that many times either. It's called Farmlands of the Fallen. It's quite big and wide open, lots of supplies. And then yeah, we've got Big Size versus ExCaL, two of the most legendary players to play 0 Hour, as I'm sure you're aware. And I'll introduce ExCaL if you want to introduce Size. So we've got ExCaL playing as the China tank in the purple in the top right color. Sorry, top right side, rather.
And as the USA Air Force in the bottom left-hand side, it's Size.
Big Size, the mighty Size. He is from Denmark, Danish Viking, people call him. And we've got ExCaL from the same country as me. He doesn't actually live that far away from me. He's from the UK. Okay.
You guys ever do LANs? Well, maybe not in 2020, but like in previous years.
Yeah, if we'll ever get a chance to do a LAN ever again. But no, we haven't. I think ExCaL has been to a LAN before. And he actually won a CNC 3. No, sorry, he didn't win a CNC 3. Yeah, he did win a CNC 3. It was like the I series, which is a series of LANs in the UK. I think it was like I-33, where him and Dackle, you probably heard of a player called Dackle as well.
Wow, yeah, you're going old school now.
Him and Dackle won a 2v2 tournament together. So yeah, players like these have been around for a while. And yeah, they've been to a few LANs. But myself, no, I've not been to a big LAN.
So walk me through this map and this matchup. I mean, most of the games that I've seen in 0 Hour are on Tournament Desert. And it looks like, this is quite a bit different from Tournament Desert, both in the layout of the expansions, but then also just the geography of the map.
Yeah, Tournament Desert, probably one of the most played maps of all time. Probably the most played map of all time. But this one, like I said, is quite a new one. It's called Farmlands of the Fallen. It is quite a big and open map. I think this is quite a balanced matchup, but I do worry about the Humvees with the combined with the ambulance, about how imbalanced that might be when they get their mobility out on the map. But with this map specifically, you've got quite a few supplies in your base. You've got obviously a main supply, which is in the far corner, but then you've got these little crates to collect from as well, plus many oils as well. So it's quite different to Tournament Desert, where there's quite a few more supplies and a lot more open.
Yeah, not necessarily the same strict 3. I like these barriers breaking up the map, so you don't have like just the strictly 3 attack paths kind of map. It's split up a little bit more.
It is, but I think those sandbags actually can be crushed. The tank traps.
Okay.
The tank traps can't be passed, but there is like a few mountains and stuff. But yeah, them sandbags, a little bit deceiving. The Gatling tanks just drive straight over them, so.
So classic Rock V ambulance kind of a setup versus Gatling tanks. Is this literally going to be 20 minutes of Rock Vs as we go like one way on this map and then we flip factions and we play the other way? Or are these guys going to mix it up at all?
Probably will be, to be honest, because obviously it's Air Force General. You'd be tempted to make Comanches or Raptors, but the thing about tank is your primary unit you're going to be making is those Gatling tanks, and they're cheaper than the other factions, so they cost only 700, whereas for China Vanilla they cost 800, and also they come free with that veterancy on them. So they're pretty cheap. They're disposable. They come with a free veterancy. And then with those ECMs that are now mixed with them, they become super deadly to anything air can produce. So like Raptors, Comanches, anything. They're anti-air galore, if you like. So primarily, unfortunately, we probably are going to see mainly Rock Vs.
So in the south, it looks like a Gatling tank did manage to stop the capture of one of Size's oils. How much is that going to be disrupting his economy, or is that second oil just bonus?
Size's economy right now, he's only on one supply and one oil. So I'd say his economy right now is way behind, because the benefit for China is that your supplies build super quick and they only cost 1,500 and then 600 for the extra truck. So you'll see ExCaL's quickly on 3 supplies. He's got his propaganda, so he's got the ECMs mixed in. So yeah, his economy right now is way ahead of Size's. A supply counts for way more than a oil derrick.
Yeah, it seems like ExCaL is definitely much more in control of this game. Now leading a little battalion of Gatling tanks and ECMs that you are referencing. The Humvees are going to try and cut them off, but this seems like it's trouble.
This does seem like it's trouble, and especially if they start hitting the Chinooks, which they are doing now, that means Size is only getting money from one oil. He's about to have the second one that he has cleared, but he's going to lose these Vs because these Gats and ECMs are so deadly. There's very little these Rock Vs are going to be able to do against them.
Wow, Size really just letting ExCaL come in here and literally camp his production, camp his economy, and denying absolutely everything that Size is trying to do. Even the construction of this strategy center is somewhat under question with all of this firepower nearby.
It's very true. And the longer this army just sits there, like you say, the longer Size is not collecting. He's got 2 oils production versus the 3 supplies of ExCaL. So the longer ExCaL is just allowed to sit there, the more it's just swaying in his favor, especially with every one of these Vs that's going to go down. And there is already the GG from Big Size.
Yeah. Wow, so I get that Size is a good player, and like definitely seen lots of great games from him, but the figure that he cut in that game was just totally dominated by ExCaL.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see in the reverse. It might be that map and that matchup heavily favors the tank. I do think it probably does favor the tank, and Size is a beast with tank, so we'll see how it plays in the reverse. But ExCaL is probably the favorite here. Safe to say he's the favorite. He's won more challenges, and he's an absolute beast of a player. So yeah, 1-0 for ExCaL. Now,
okay, I thought my game had frozen for a second there.
Your game should go back to the network lobby. Yeah, there you are. Now you just wait for my game to appear in the games list. You should see it and just double click on it.
This is so different from how we do all the other... Oh, it's all full.
Oh, 1 second. I just need to put a larger map. Okay, go now. And you're in.
Thanks for letting me in.
Yeah, it's just like one of the things about 0 hour. If a map can only hold 2 people, and there's 2 people already in there, you have to put a larger one just for you to join.
Oh, you can't manually open positions.
You can, but it'll still say full unless players start taking Observer, because Observer doesn't count as a player.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you'd have to do a whole thing where you trade
exactly.
roles in the game.
Okay, so we're going to see the reverse. So it is perfectly fair. Tank versus air. Size against ExCaL. And they will swap the spots as well, so it's 100% balanced.
All right, yeah. That's No, I don't. So far, I think that's the only thing I haven't covered.
You've covered a lot then.
Yeah, so with the addition of Red Alert 2, which I just uploaded my first Red Alert 2 game, I've covered almost every single Command & Conquer game.
Legendary. Okay, well, game number 2 then. We have ExCaL this time playing as the USA Air Force. In the bottom left, he's in his traditional purple color.
And in the top right-hand corner, as the blue China tank, can he redeem himself? This is Size.
So straight away, I noticed a variation here. ExCaL's actually going for the 2 supplies, whereas Size, I think he went for 1 supply and the oil cap, of which one of them got denied. So we'll see how ExCaL's different build order will fare here against the Danish beast that is Size.
Yeah, the double supply. So that was definitely a problem, getting your production camped and then getting your production and your economy camped by ExCaL in that previous match. But double war factory as the follow-up for Size. So Size is looking remarkably similar to ExCaL in that previous game, even sending his dozer out for a potential 3rd supply drop.
So yeah, I think that the most safe all-round solid build order that Tank can do here, pretty much the only viable build order, is 2 supplies, 2 war factories like he's done here. And he's actually done something that not a lot of players do, which is actually make one of your first units be that outpost. Now what that outpost will do is scout the drone that is inside of your base. So you see he shot the drone down straight away, and now ExCaL can't see what Size is going to be doing, whether he's teching up fast or whether he's going MiGs or expanding to that 3rd supply. The smart move already from Size.
Yeah, Outpost and the Gatling cutting to the north. They're going to run into the fire base from ExCaL, but I assume he's going to, not choose to 1v1 that.
The thing about the fire bases are that I think they're one of the best, or maybe the best defense in the entire game. But if you get close to them, they can't actually shoot close range. That's their only weakness. So the thing is, you have to just charge at it and just wait by it, and you can kill it for free. But chances are ExCaL will send a Rock V to help.
Yeah. Size with the listening outpost going to the north, trying to, I guess, decipher, if anything, if there are any GIs trying to capture that oil derrick, but a little bit slow on the oil derricks for ExCaL, which Size did the exact same thing. So I assume just going for the delayed oils rather than trying to get them out quickly.
Yeah, definite variation. So ExCaL, I don't know if he's made any ranges. It's ranges that capture the oils, but he's put a missile defenders inside of these buildings, providing vision and providing the defense. Now he's making a strategy center, actually. So the strategy center makes the Vs a hell of a lot more stronger, because it will give them a 20% extra range when he sets search and destroy.
Yeah. As a kid, I always used to go for firepower over range. And then because of the General's Gentleman, I actually learned that it's more beneficial to have the range to be able to kite more effectively. A couple of Rock Vs trading out with a Dragon Tank and a Gatling in the north of Size's base, and they're just barely going to get it. They were a little close to that Dragon Tank for a moment, but they did manage to pull away.
So yeah, I think 1V went down in the middle that got chased down, and then it looks like a few units of Size is going to go down here. Another Gatling tank there. These Vs are so annoying to fight against, especially when you don't have the ECMs, because they can just shoot some missiles, run away, heal with the ambulance, then come in again. It's so hard to deal with.
And this is the point that ExCaL denied Size from getting to in that last game, was that search and destroy. So ExCaL already with a big advantage of getting out that strategy center, as you had mentioned previously, and actually getting it online, unlike Size was able to do last game.
That's very true. And now you can see how much better these Vs are. With a 20% extra range, the Gats are going down from range. But there's no ECMs mixed in from Size, so he is just losing them. The ECMs deflect the missiles, make the Gats a lot more survivable. But yeah, Size losing a lot of Gats here.
Yeah, Size's propaganda center is significantly later than ExCal's in that previous game. I mean, we're at like the 4.5-minute mark. I believe the propaganda center was already up by ExCaL at this point. And on top of that, the Humvees are going to jump on top of it. They're barely not going to get the kill on the propaganda center, though.
Yeah, that's a very big hit there. because even if that dozer goes straight over there, which is not, he's actually dropping it down back in his base, so he's not going to have ECMs for another couple of minutes. And meanwhile, he's losing all of his gats. He doesn't even have that many left.
Wow, so once again in game number 2, it's really feeling like ExCaL in control, ExCaL the one really setting the pace of the game.
Yeah, that is true. ExCal's, I think, by many considered number 1 at the moment. He's won a lot of challenges. I think he's got a positive score against everyone. Won most kind of tournaments over the last 12 months and won a lot of prize money. There's been a lot of prize money in 0 hours of late. Not only like these 1v1 $50 challenges, but also there's like a $2,000 tournament going on at the moment. There's loads of money in 0 hour right now.
Yeah, the ExCaL going to be able to escape just barely with those Humvees. The Gatlings almost got it, but as you mentioned, that propaganda center, the dozer finally got its way over there. So ECMs will eventually make their way onto the field. And I guess Size can then try and deal with these Humvees, but ExCaL may actually drive directly into the Gats.
Ouch, that is painful.
Of the Humvees.
We did lose one ambulance, 1V.
Yeah, sitting right on the edge of the range of those Gats, just so we can pick them off one by one.
Yeah, Size losing so many Gats. That's basically his whole army. Okay, he does have a few more Gats back in his base. But the question is, ExCaL is actually almost level 3. So in level 3, you get the support powers. He'll have like Carpet Bomb, A10, Spectre, things like that. And that's going to cause damage to Size as well. So
Gatling tanks continuing to try and trade out with the Humvees, but as always, the Rock Vs are a powerful force to try and contend with. Carpet Bomb misses the War Factory, gets shot down by the Gats a little too early, and in the very south, the Dragon Tank did take down one of the oils, so Size won't, or ExCaL won't be able to depend on that oil as the game goes forward.
yeah, that's a nice hit by Size. Dragon Tank escapes with basically 0% HP.
Just slowly walking its way across the map.
Poor thing. So ExCal's picking off oil of Size as well, because Size is on ECMs now. He's going to have a Black Lotus, probably going to be trying to capture them oils. So ExCaL recognizing that, denying it straight away. One thing I do notice about Size, difference that the ExCaL did not do when he was tank, is Size actually got the chain gun upgrades. If you click on a Gatling tank, you'll see the little the blue chain gun thing in the bottom right is selected. That means Size has got that. It does 25% extra damage on the Gat tanks.
Yeah. So pumping out those upgrades, it's still just these 3 sections of ECMs and Gats roaming around the map trying to find a favorable engagement with the Rock Vs. But as you kind of referenced at the very beginning, Gats v Rock V is just going to be what we're seeing for a long time here.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with that chain gun. If you're making Raptors or anything like that, unfortunately, they will just get shot down. So V's are the only way forward.
Black Lotus cutting through the middle of the map. I believe she capped the oil over to the right side.
Okay, yeah, so 1 oil. And I suppose this artillery platform that Size is capturing now, although it does shoot and it usually misses a V if the V is moving, especially when your Vs are blobbed up together, it can sometimes hit one of them and do some damage. So it's a little bit of a bonus there for Size.
And I mean, hey, you're walking through the middle of the map with your Black Lotus, you may as well grab it anyways. Gats and ECM's going to be engaging against these Rock Vs near the firebase, trying to get inside of the minimum range of that firebase, and all of the Gats go down. Every single one destroyed. Size thought he had an opportunity there, and he didn't.
Yeah, that's an absolutely massive loss for Size. Size has lost so many armies through this. Like, yes, sure, ExCal's lost the occasional V or ambulance here, but ExCal's definitely had far more favorable trades.
Yeah, 1-star general versus 3. Black Lotus is still here, and I mean, the number of times we've seen a Black Lotus sneak by somewhere and do some critical infrastructure damage is, you know, it's not impossible. So Size definitely still has a card up his sleeve or something like that.
Yeah, certainly. The only thing he has to be careful of is if he goes too close to the search and destroy strategy center. One bonus of the search and destroy is that you have to actually detect stealth, and it's quite a large range as well. So Lotus just needs to be careful of that, otherwise she will get spotted and gunned down before she achieves anything.
Size continuing to posture, not even really pressure ExCaL, but he's just posturing near ExCaL in the south with these 3 gats, and ExCaL just continuing to play this game of north and south with the Humvees. He may actually catch out Black Lotus there. He does cut back to the north, does manage to escape, but he loses all 3 gats for nothing.
Yeah, another big loss there for Size. Black Lotus does run away with her life, so that's one consolation there for big Size.
And in the north, Size may actually get an opportunity to kill this oil derrick and a dozer, but he's going to be scared away by just a single rocket trooper inside of that building.
Yeah, that's the thing about these bunkers are so strong, especially combined with a firebase. Like, the Gats could probably move in there and do some damage, but by the time they kill them things, the Vs will already be there to kill the remainder of Size's army. So, yeah, Size in a difficult spot at the moment, but he has expanded to the middle with a supply, and he's got 3 trucks there, so his economy is still kind of going, and he's got another supply actually at the top left.
Yeah, just now building that final supply there, and I guess this is going to be his economy for the mid into the late game until he gets his hackers up and running. Bunker in the bottom right-hand corner trying to take down the oil derrick of Size, but it's not quite gonna work out as the Gats do manage to take that out eventually. My gosh, you were right. It does take so long.
Yeah, and he does have like, what, 7 or 8 Gats there, and he's got that upgrade as well.
Completely surrounding what looks like just like plywood on stilts. And it takes like 10 minutes of Gats just unloading on it.
So A10 comes in to try and finish the oil, but the oil does survive at about 10% HP. And Size pushing forward with these Gats on this house. Has got a few more missile defenders in there, and the Gats are taking some punishment themselves.
Yeah, 1 Gat going down. Another firebase trying to be established in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. The dozer gets eliminated. Is that ExCaL's last dozer, or does he still have one tucked somewhere on the map?
So he does have a dozer at the top left oil, but he also has his CC anyway, so he can remake as many dozers as he wants.
No, I did miss that. Black Lotus did go down in the southern section of the map. She came a little bit too close to the strategy center, I guess.
Okay, poor thing. But yeah, I think Size really needs to do something really smart at the moment because it's looking bad. Every engagement he takes is losing Gats. But the MiGs do come in and pick off 2 Vs.
Almost getting a 3rd one. Not quite able to do it. Dragon Tank going to be able to clear out the building and just barely does not get it. As the Dragon Tank does go down, and the Humvees, 1 is going to escape with the ambulance.
Ooh, MiG comes in, but you do need 2 to ensure a death on a Humvee. So that Humvee does escape because he's got the ambulance there repairing it. But there's another MiG on its way, so if ExCaL doesn't move that fast, actually, I'm pretty sure that MiG is going down. So yeah, Size is picking off the Vs one by one, and there'll only be 5 left in ExCaL's base. Or the MiG does turn around, actually.
Yeah, so in the top left, the supply going down, or being eliminated, rather, from Size. But in the bottom right-hand corner, he has rebuilt that supply, so he's kind of reestablished his economy. He also lost it there in the middle of the map. But Size doing a good job of trying to reestablish himself and at least somewhat hit multiple spots. But as you mentioned, it feels like Size, every trade is better for ExCaL, but Size is still in this. He still has some kind of an army, and he's still trying to make something happen.
Yeah, that's right. It's just Size's economy now. He's only got $1,000 because I've got this new version of Gentle where you can see, I don't know if you can see that as well, how much money they've got on the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just
ExCaL sitting at almost $4,000 in the bank.
Yeah, exactly. He has just lost his strategy center, so he will lose the range bonus, and he'll have to remake that, which will cost him 2.5k.
Bit of annoyance, so I guess some small victories for Size. But again, just overall, it feels like ExCaL still in control of the game. Now going to be cutting up to the north along the right edge of the map. Can he actually kill off this oil that he's been trying to kill for 10 minutes of this game almost? Wow.
So it does escape on about 2 HP.
Actually get it.
I think ExCaL was scared of losing more Vs because even though his economy is better than Size's right now, he does have 1 oil, 1 refinery, and a couple of supplies left. I mean, if you lose a few of them Vs, they're expensive to replace. So both players have got to be cautious about what units they lose now.
never really went beyond. He never went for the corner supplies. He never went for the central supply. He's just going to try and rely on the supply drop zones. Is that typical for the USA player to play a little bit closer to the vest and not go for those more exterior expansions?
Yeah, I think ExCaL's playing this more safe, because if you go for one of them expansions as USA, you drop down a supply, which is quite a chunky investment of 2k, and you're probably going to build another Chinook, which is the best part of 1k, and then one GAT can easily just come and disrupt that. So yeah, ExCaL's playing it more safe, just trying to keep within his little perimeter of where the sandbags are, it looks like.
So Search and Destroy back online, so those Rock Vs are going to be that much more effective. Some long-distance harvesting there in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. ExCaL trying to sneak away a couple of loads of supplies, but I think Size has kind of caught wind of it. Heading down there with pretty much his entire army.
Yeah, he has spotted it, sending his army there, but again, he doesn't have any ECMs mixed in with this, and now with Search and Destroy out, unless ExCaL makes a major mistake, he can just kill every single one of them GATs without losing even 1v. So yeah, Size needs to get an ECM there fast.
One Chinook going down, and he's going to try and kind of partner this up with a carpet bombing, which should take care of the supply. It barely doesn't. He misplaced that carpet bombing. The GATs do manage to grab one Humvee. The rest of the Humvees should be able to kite a little more effectively, but the GATs trading as well as they can, and just as you mentioned, Dominator, every single GAT.
Yeah, so frustrating to fight that. When you don't have any ECMs, you have no chance with those GATs. I think he did pick off 1v, so luckily he did pick off one, but yeah, he lost like how many GATs? Like 10 GATs for that?
Yeah, something like that. Basically his entire standing army for one Humvee. A more drawn-out game, but not one where it felt like Size had that same kind of control over the game that ExCaL had in that first match. So I hope the rest of the series doesn't quite look the same as this, because right now, for a best of 15, it's looking very much in ExCaL's favor.
It is indeed. I'm just on the final screen where it shows you like how many units were destroyed. So if we have a look at ExCaL, he destroyed 82 units. Yikes. And Size only destroyed 38. So that's like more than a 2-to-1 ratio.
Their economy was almost exactly neck and neck, but yeah, as you said, the efficiency of Size was just completely outmatched by ExCaL.
So one thing to take into account, whilst it was a strong start by ExCaL, ExCaL is one who he gets the format and the maps, and he likes to come up with a strategy, and that was his map choice and his matchup choice. So now it'll be Size's turn to choose. So we might see him pull some kind of trick out of the bag with one of his matchups.
Yeah, so Size, does he, to your knowledge, does he typically prefer a faction? Like if we see a GLA versus China or something, is it going to be more Size's speed?
Yeah, there are a few ones that he really likes. Well, he typically likes Nuke versus Tox. You can guarantee he will choose that every time, but it's Nuke versus Stealth is the closest thing. He's chosen Nuke versus China. So Eagle Eye is the map.
Okay.
But the thing is, whilst this might be Size's pick, ExCaL is also very good in any China versus China. He's also very good in that. Actually, there's not a lot that ExCaL isn't that good at, to be honest.
It did feel like Size did a lot better with China than he did with the USA. So maybe a China mirror, or I know it's not a true mirror, but a China matchup will favor him a little more.
Possibly. He has chosen to start with a nuke, which is considered stronger here. The only real way China Vanilla should be able to win is by mass air units like mass helixes. So we'll see how ExCaL is going to play this. So I'll introduce ExCaL. We have ExCaL down the south. The map is Eagle Eye, and he is playing as the purple China Vanilla faction.
And in the north, as the blue China Nuke, this is Size. Now this feels a little more tournament deserty, but just taking a look around the map, it looks like the geography is a little different from tournament desert. So
yeah, I suppose there are some similarities because you've got these divides, these cliff divides down the side, but you also have like this new little back part where it's like there's a cliff at the back of your base, which you don't have in Tournament Desert.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. There are those couple maps which are literally just reskins of Tournament Desert. And every time I see those, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's different, but not really.
Yeah, Tournament Desert is, like we said before, probably the most played map. I think like in CNC3, the most played map for a hell of a long time was, I think, Tournament Arena, and then I think it moves to like Tournament Decision. Oh, am I up to date with the latest maps?
Probably Tournament Rift would be the most played, but now with in Kane's Wrath, with the 1.02 plus and all of the community-made maps, there's like 2 other community-made maps which have sort of taken the place of that. And so the same thing happens in basically every game. There seems to be a map or maybe 2 or 3 maps that people magnetize to as being like the most balanced or the least frustrating, and then that's what everybody plays. But yeah, so in this case, I'm excited to see how this plays out. Hopefully this is a little less stalematey than Tournament Desert can be. So I'm excited to see how Size and ExCaL handle this.
Yeah, ExCal's gone for something really weird. He's gone for a truck rush down the left-hand side versus a China. Like, I've never seen this in a top-level game before. But I think what he's doing, he's actually going to stop Size's oil capture that he's predicting. But Size hasn't gone for that. So that is a loss there straight away for ExCaL. A waste of $600 on his supply truck.
Yeah, trying to go for a bit of a sneaky move, and then it just ended up not working out. I guess he can park that supply truck there and then hope that he can get a crush at a later point. A Dragon Tank and a Listening Outpost going to be kind of clashing over on the right side of the map. I assume Size is here to burn something down.
Yeah, he is. Dragon Tank, I think like whatever the Flame Tank in CNC is called, in CNC3 is called, where you can just wreck bases real fast. That Dragon Tank can wreck the base real fast too. But Size has mixed it up here. He's actually done a War Factory and a Helix. So ExCaL will definitely not be predicting this. I think this is going to catch ExCaL off guard. He doesn't have any gats in his base versus Size's Helix right now.
So 1 kill of the Listening Outpost, the Dragon Tank being a great kind of combo with this Helix. And he's going to go Dozer hunting as well. Kills a Dozer. There is the airfield out, and of course the War Factory is right there, but it gets at least 1 supply truck.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit overly cautious there from Size, because he could have gone all the way to the left and picked off the other Dozer, and that probably would have been GG, but he chose to pick off a truck instead and then run away. So Size sometimes does this, is a little bit too passive, and I think that's might be why in the past it's cost him some games. But it still looks like he's got an advantage here. But yeah, he did have the possibility to go and hunt that other Dozer then on the left side.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good opportunity to make use of that space kind of behind the bases, that little high ground area where he could have flown over that like you were talking about and gone over to the left. But opportunity perhaps missed. There's another Helix over on the left side cutting back to the middle for Size. And it's going to be the War of the Gats beginning.
Yeah, so I think Size definitely ahead here. ExCaL is dropping down a propaganda center, but Size is already on his 3rd supply and a 4th supply actually making now, and his propaganda is about to finish in the top right, so he's way ahead here.
Size finally outmatching ExCaL in this series. A couple of Listening Outposts going to be camping directly outside of one of Size's supplies here in the top left-hand corner of the map. May actually be able to shut that down, but I don't think they'll get the Dozer, right? Okay, yeah. The Helix is here.
Yes, the Helix should clean this up. If Size is not careful, he might still lose the Dozer, but I think he will clean this up. The interesting thing for me is if you'll see that sneaky truck on the top left. I don't think he will, because that could stop the oil capture. It would be funny if it does.
3 Gats sitting there just waiting, but it's possible that he'll miss it. Listening Outpost and a Gat going down outside of the War Factory of Size, and of course the ECMs also now here on the map for Size. The slightly faster propaganda center going to be allowing that, and the command center coming back up for Size.
So ExCal's first bit of real aggression now, this Helix probing down the right-hand side, but there are now 2 Helixes for Size. So if ExCal does go in, not only are we taking damage from the Gat that's on the ground there, but also there's 2 Helixes. So yeah, ExCal is definitely up against it here, but he does have a Lotus capturing his oil now in the bottom left.
Yeah, so they're almost completely... Yeah, so the Lotus grabs the oil and the truck will be eventually gunned down by that. Is he going for a supply steal?
I think he was trying to do whatever he could there, but the truck can't run over the hero units, so he was probably just going to steal $600 and then run away, I think.
Yeah. And then even if you die, then it's just denying that little teeny tiny bit of income to your opponent.
That's true. It could come back. You know, some games do come down to the last 2 units on the field. So that $600 could make all the difference. I just worry for ExCaL that his economy is significantly behind Size, because Size has now been on 4 supplies for a while. He's actually mined out of one of them because he's been on it for so long.
A couple of supply trucks going to be going down as the Helixes on the left side now retreat. Not going to try to go for any additional damage beyond those first 2 supply trucks. So slowing down that economy. You've been talking about how much Size is ahead, and ExCaL is trying to even things up, but I think he's got a ways to go before he's actually evened things up between the 2 of them.
So yeah, the reason this matchup is considered a little bit imbalanced, or quite a bit imbalanced, is when it gets to around this stage, if Size just puts GATs around the map to defend against Helixes and then just comes in the middle with Overlord's ECM, there's very little ExCaL will be able to do about it, because ExCaL's main unit or main army throughout this whole game is just going to be those Helixes. So Size knows this. That's why he's spreading GATs all over the map, as I'm sure you can see.
Yeah. So I guess when the game turns around and we play the opposite of this, it'll be ExCaL's chance to do literally that exact same thing to Size. We'll have to see if Size is able to defeat his own strategy in that rematch, but
yeah, well, I think we'll see some variation in the play again. Don't know what we'll see, but this push down the left-hand side from Size, it's doing big damage. It's cleared the bunker. It's taking out a few ECMs. Helix is coming in for ExCaL, but realizing there's too many GATs there right now and having to run away.
yeah, a couple of Helixes for Size as well, just dancing on the edges, trying to find what damage they can. ExCaL regrouping his Helixes there into the middle of the map, but he's going to be losing his propaganda center as Size nearly gets it, but has to back off with those Helixes.
But ExCaL's made a huge error. He moved them Helixes to the middle and they got sniped by the GATs that were there. He wasn't paying attention and he throws in the towel. GG. Well played by Size. He does get himself on the scoreboard.
Finally, with his with perhaps his best matchup, or perhaps an imbalanced matchup, as you would reference, but now things are going to flip around, and maybe ExCaL will just take a quick 3rd victory in this best of 15.
It could be. It'll be interesting to see how ExCaL will play it differently, but Size did choose this one, and if you're 2-0 behind, you probably want to choose one that you're confident you can win both ways, so I wouldn't be surprised if Size has got a sneaky plan up his sleeve.
Well, I'm excited to see what that is.
Okay, the game is up.
Ooh, okay, I managed to get in before any of the actual players, so that'll teach them.
One thing you'll notice about Size is he's very slow and cumbersome. So sometimes you'll be sat there for 5 minutes and he'll join and you'll be like, where have you been? And you're like, what do you mean? That's just normal for Size.
All right, so after we move on from this China nuke versus China, is it going to go back to like ExCaL dominating Size?
It could be, but a load of the matchups on the list that we've kind of come up with and refined through coming up with these challenges, a lot of them are balanced. Some of them are slightly imbalanced, like nuke is better than China, but I think on this map, China does have a chance, which is why it's interesting. So, yeah, it depends on what ExCaL chooses and how much prep and how good he plays. Size is a beast of a player, so if you're not on your A game, Size will take it from you, as we just saw there.
So in that last match, if ExCaL doesn't move his Helixes to the middle, does he have a chance at winning that, or is it like that just shortened the inevitable?
I think it shortened the inevitable on that one. I think it was kind of over after Size's really decent build order. He got that Flamer in, he got the Helix in and killed some trucks. And then behind that, he expanded those 4 supplies real fast. So, yeah, ExCal's going to need to hopefully try and replicate something what Size did there. So I'll introduce ExCaL. So we have ExCaL in the purple, and he is playing as the China nuke in the north of Eagle Eye.
And playing as the China vanilla as the blue in the south, it's Size. Currently down 1-2. You Mr. Dominator, you have confidence in size to potentially even this series up 2-2. And definitely for the caster in me who wants to see this actually go the distance and not just be ExCaL dominating, I definitely want to see size even things up and kind of reset the scoreboard a little bit and also reset the momentum between these two players.
Yeah, as casters, we love a decider. When anyone ever says in the chat, or who do you want to win, or you're being biased towards this person, I'm like, the only thing I want is a decider. So right now, yes, we're rooting for Big Size to try and even things up and make this a bit more edge of your seat stuff. He's gone for 2 supplies and a War Factory barracks. So let's see how this is going to fare for him.
And it's double War Factory from ExCaL in the north. So mirrored builds up until that second War Factory versus that barracks. What is he hoping to accomplish with these rocket troopers?
I think he's going to try and grab the bunkers in the middle. So there's like a little church building on the left-hand side. It's actually not that strong, but it is still a nuisance towards any tanks coming through. And he's trying to grab that middle bunker, the one that's like a little shack that you said that only on 4 legs. But that's actually quite a strong bunker to get hold of. But I think he's going to be a bit late to there. ExCaL's going to now see his RPGs.
Yeah, so it almost begs the question, is it better to, if you are going for that, go for the listening outpost and unload the RPGs in that bunker? I mean, in this case, the listening outpost got sniped, so it didn't actually work out for ExCaL at all.
Yeah, it did look like the outpost was faster to get that bunker if you went straight for it. But yeah, ExCaL was not interested in that. He just wants to pile the aggression on. But Size might grab the bunker. This guy does get gunned down.
He should be able to grab that like church building that you referenced over on the left side, so that's his consolation prize. He didn't get what he wanted. He's going to have a little bit of trouble with this dragon tank. He has 2 RPGs, going to be able to target it down, but he loses the GAT to a Battlemaster and a GAT of ExCaL. Is this just over for Size?
This could well very be over. Size's Helix is now out, but it's got nothing inside of it, so it's just an empty Helix. It's going to do basically next to no damage to the GAT. So yeah, this could be a very quick one. I think you were right when you said before, is this going to be back to ExCaL just dominating? And this one certainly looks like it.
I mean, he is going hard for this dozer after he got the supply truck. The dragon tank wasted the War Factory, and now 1 dozer down. The second dozer is nearby, but it looks like the Helix may be able to deal with this GAT. Ooh, barely gets it.
So yeah, I think in a desperation move, Size made a Gatling cannon on the Helix just so he could 1v1 that GAT, but now the Helix is going to go down. So yeah, GG already. Well, he lasted 3 minutes and 11 seconds. You were right.
So ExCaL puts another point on the board, a 3-1 score. But, I mean, it is best of 15, so normally I cast best of 5s, best of 7s, maybe the occasional best of 9. But with a best of 15, there are so many games that it feels like Size isn't even in danger yet.
I think Size is known, and he's admitted before, he will literally finish work, come home, and boot up 0 hour straight into a hard tournament. He won't do any warm-up, any preparation, anything like that. Whereas ExCaL, well, you'll probably see him online 1 or 2 hours before. He'll be warming up. He wants to know what the matchup is, what maps are going to be played, come up with some preparation. So you'll often see ExCaL have a decent start, but I wouldn't be surprised if Size is going to step up his level a little bit later on once he gets fully warmed up and firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, that's an interesting difference between the two players in terms of how they approach a match. You do hear about those people who go straight into a tournament without necessarily prep, and sometimes that's what a player makes their entire career on, is just that I don't practice that much, I don't take this like super seriously, and yet I'm still pretty good. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But at the end of the day, you might just lose the challenge because of that.
Yeah, I'm sure it has cost him some games and some challenges in the past. But yeah, I might be wrong. Maybe tonight he's done a warm-up, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is his first games. But yeah, he's up against it anyway because ExCaL is a super strong player.
All right, so ExCaL chooses GLA versus USA.
Yeah.
So ExCaL chooses the first matchup, and then they just flip-flop. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the last challenge they played, Size chose the first matchup, so this time it's only fair that ExCaL chose the first one. So yeah, then they just rotate. It's the fairest way, I think.
Okay. And the map is liquid gold.
Liquid gold. Now, can you guess why it might be called liquid gold?
There are so many oil derricks.
There are so many oil derricks. I think someone counted. I think there's 11 on this map. Which, when it got first released, people were like, "Oh, this has got way too much money, way too many oils. It's stupid." But actually, the more people have played it, it's now one of the most popular maps, and you'll see it played in almost every tournament.
That's good to know. Someone actually called me out on when I was casting this map. I was like, "Wow, there are a lot of oils," and they're like, "Yeah, it's called liquid gold." That made me feel very dumb.
So yeah, we have ExCaL in the south of liquid gold. He is playing as the purple, GLA Vanilla.
And in the north as the USA Vanilla, as the blue, down 1-3. This is Size.
So yeah, he's got his back against the wall.
Yeah, this feels a little more tournament deserty, like with the split of the supplies left and right. It's a north versus south map, and then you do have kind of the three paths along which you would attack.
Yeah, it does not. I think like we were saying before, like every game has its most popular map, and people see that as tournament desert in 0 Hour, and then they think, okay, that's really successful. How can I make something different but try and still resemble that same feel? So it still has the same success but be different as well. And I think, yeah, like you say, a lot of the maps are centered around it with a different skin.
So the first time we're seeing GLA in this series, it's been all China, all USA up to this point, but now we actually get to see a little GLA. What should we be looking for between these players? Is ExCaL just going to dominate with all three factions, or is Size going to have something against GLA?
So I think this is kind of a balanced matchup up until the kind of mid to late game. So Size needs to push out with those Rock Vs and close down the arms dealer before kind of the midpoint. But ExCaL will probably be trying to cause as much damage as possible to stop Size getting that kind of massive V count. So you'll probably see a lot of aggression from ExCaL early on. And Size looks like he's going for an eco boom, in the sense he's going for three of the oils on his side of the map. So he's got one on the left, one in the back of his base, and the top right one he's just getting as well.
He was also trying to go for a bit of a crush with the dozer, but he got caught out by 4 RPG troopers, and now a technical is going to finish off the dozer. And is he going to get even one worker? He doesn't even get one worker. He gets literally nothing with that dozer.
Yeah, and he's actually given the scrap to ExCaL as well, which could come back to pick off a V a little bit later on. And ExCaL, meanwhile, TT'd the power plant of big Size, so Size is now dropping down another one. That'll just slow his economy. Well, not his economy, slows down his production a little bit, because your production is halved whilst you're on low power.
Yeah. So an unfortunate start here for Size. Couple of technicals coming around the back of Size's base. He's just got the supply on the left side, so I don't know if these technicals were hoping to find a bit of a softer target, but the second dozer may actually get caught by these technicals and the RPG troopers. Gonna try and run away, but goodbye dozer.
Yeah, the dozer might escape, actually. The V's are coming in to save it. It's going to be very close.
Oh, wow.
It does go down. The tentacles do also go down, but Size needs to move in now and save that power plant, because if that power plant goes down as well, he's got to then make another dozer to make another power plant.
It'll really be slowing things down, and just barely the RPG troopers get eliminated by the Rock Vs, and the power plant does survive. So Size coming within inches of just being absolutely destroyed in this game, but he's still got a fighting chance. Yeah,
so Size is now getting that kind of, what do you call it, when you get the right mass of something, critical mass of Vs. He probably needs like maybe 1 or 2 more, and he can push down the middle of the map and do some serious damage to ExCaL. But meanwhile, ExCaL is getting a flank position on the right-hand side of his tunnels.
Going to be able to grab the artillery platform as well. This technical is just sitting next to that artillery platform, but not actually doing anything.
Yeah, interestingly, Size actually has that artillery platform, so it's this shooting that building in the middle. You see that?
He managed to grab it. Oil Derrick under a little bit of threat on the left side, but there's Rock Vs versus Technicals, and of course it ends up much better for the American player as Size takes down the little outpost that ExCaL had there on the left side of the map. And I guess ExCaL never actually grabbed that Oil Derrick. He was trying to, but he never got the capture.
Yeah, this is looking pretty dangerous for ExCaL now because his 2 arms dealers, this is the most important part of the map for him. If he loses those 2 buildings, it's going to be very hard to come back from. So he needs to amass some defense fast and take out these Vs. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Another technical going down, 1 arms dealer completely eliminated, and now the supply is the next target. ExCaL says, I'm out of here. He just teleports to the other side of the map. He's going to use his technicals in the north to try and make something happen, but he's about to lose all of his production.
Yeah, and these Vs and missile defenders, they're also gaining veterancy from these kills, so those Vs are becoming harder and harder to kill. ExCaL is good at this. When he's taking the pressure somewhere, he will come in for a counterattack, and he is doing that, so he is going for that power plant once again. He really wants to kill those power plants.
4 Vs are going to be responding to this, and these power plants can take a serious amount of damage, but barely. He switches targets. Is that a mistake there by ExCaL to not go for the power plant kill?
It does look like a mistake. He probably should have finished it and then switched. He did pick off a V, which I probably would say is more important than a power plant, but the power plant could have gone down as well. So, yeah, it could come back to haunt him. But to be honest, I think he might have lost this game anyway because he's confined to the right side of the map.
Okay, there's the GG, and ExCaL has been defeated. Size points another point on the board. And that one, it felt like just a total role reversal. Size was in so much control. The better decision-making as a whole. He had a bit of a rocky start there with his dozer excursion, but other than that, that felt so much better for Size.
Yeah, Size had his build order on lockdown. He had the 3 oils very fast. I think he captured all of them. Got out that critical mass of Vs. Pushed straight down the middle, cleared ExCaL from the middle, and then closed down the arms dealers. So pretty textbook for USA. And I think this is a balanced matchup as well, where you can win with both ways. So Size definitely got an opportunity again to equalize here.
Yeah. So I guess this will be game number 6 that we head into with these 2.
Yeah. We had a couple of donations on the stream, so I just need to give a shout out. aka Baloney and Isual, thank you very much for the donations. And Isual actually had a message for SYBERT. He said, can you tell SYBERT to say to say EA Sports to the game? I think they like your accent.
Wait, EA Sports? It's in the game or to the game?
Oh, is it in the game? Is that what it is?
Isn't
I thought it was
Isn't it? It's in the game? No, that's someone else's.
thing is, on my Zero, I deleted the intro, so I never see it anymore. I thought it was EA. Is it EA Sports to the game when you're playing FIFA?
I don't know. I don't play any of the sports games, but
oh, we really should know this. Well, maybe we'll research it, and maybe we'll ask SYBERT to say it a little bit later.
no, we don't need to know the taglines of multi-billion-dollar corporations.
That's true.
That's what they want. They want you to think of that tagline. Don't think of the tagline. All right, so it's going to be GLA versus USA, but the reverse. So ExCaL playing that USA. And I'm excited to see what Size does with the GLA. If we're going to see lots of tunnel action, see him punching around the map.
I think, like we saw in the previous one, we need him to be, if he wants to get the win here, need to be aggressive, pick off as many Vs, power plants, and Chinooks as he can in the beginning to try and have a chance in the mid game. But yeah, we do have ExCaL in the north. He is with the USA Vanilla in the purple color.
And in the south has the blue GLA. This is Size. So the immediate sell-off of the command center, a bit of a difference from ExCaL and Size. Of course, in that last game, Size kept the command center around because he wanted to go for that dozer excursion. And it's definitely a good thing that he did, because if he had lost those 2 dozers without that command center, it would have been game over. But he was able to actually win that game. So I guess ExCaL is going to be playing it much safer with his dozers because of that early command center sell.
Yeah, so what he'll be doing on the top right, where he's made that war factory and the supply in those positions, he'll try and put his dozer tucked between the supply and the supply dock and drop his barracks down on the other side. So it's a complete square off of the dozer to try and protect it.
Okay, so he's going to wall it in quite nicely there. There is a worker making his way from Size's half of the map all the way up to the top right-hand corner. What exactly does Size have planned for this worker?
That's a good question. And ExCaL is actually doing something really strange. He's dropping off a paladin tank. But the thing with Size is that he'll send that worker and he'll build a tunnel in like the most obscure place against even the top level players. And half of the time it will actually get up because it's just Size. This is a thing Size does. So yeah, he's doing that whilst ExCaL is actually going for a Paladin drop. So you're seeing a Paladin tank for probably one of the first times in a top level 1v1 game, that's for sure.
He's going for, I guess, the Crush? Yeah, so he's going to deny the Oil Derrick capture with the Paladin tank, and then he's going to take a shot at the Technical, but the Technical just runs away. And the Humvee does hunt down that worker. That's the thing that I was wondering about ExCaL, because Size literally walked right past ExCal's expansion, or ExCal's entire, like, production setup. I was like, surely that's not going to work. You can't walk right past him. And he didn't. ExCaL was paying attention. He kills the worker with the Humvee. He doesn't let any shenanigans happen there. Paladin getting chased away by a terrorist there in the south.
Yeah, the thing about the Paladin, though, is if ExCaL micros it, which he didn't, if he microed it, the Paladin would have won the battle, because the point defense laser, not a lot of people know, but it actually zaps the terrorist as well.
Yeah, I did notice. That's something I'd completely forgot until he went to run over that the Rebel, and then it zapped the Rebel just before he ran it over. And I was like, oh yeah, it's got that whole laser that no one uses because Paladins are close to worthless.
Yeah, a lot of people ask why a Paladin's so bad. I think there's like 3 reasons that amount up. So like they cost the General's promotion. They cost a lot more than a Crusader. So it's like $200 more than the Crusader. And they build slower as well. So you combine those 3 things. And yeah, they, like you say, they do become worthless.
Toxin Tractor there in the middle of the map gets shut down, and a Technical jumping up to the north with a couple of quads, going to try and make something happen, but the Rock Vs are here to shut everything down. Not even a Chinook goes down. Size kind of switching targets, targeting the Chinooks for a moment, then a Humvee. Is that... That doesn't feel worth it. Was that a good move by Size?
Well, he did pick off 1 V. I'm not sure how many missile defenders were in there, but I would say every V you can pick off is a bonus, because, like we saw before, when he gets like 5 Vs and an ambulance together and pushes down the middle, that's a real hard thing to combat. So every 1 V you can pick off at this stage, you probably will take it.
Okay. So ExCaL getting hurt a little bit there, but maybe with the better end of the trade, we'll have to see how much that 1V has cut down his numbers. But he's up to 4 Humvees and an ambulance now cutting through the middle of the map. A couple of quads, a couple of RPGs in the top right-hand corner going for a bit of a counter.
Yeah, so ExCaL's got a very important decision to make right now. Does he want to continue this aggression and try to defend at home somehow, or does he want to go back with the army? He's going to try and defend, while Size is going to be in a difficult situation himself, because he's probably going to lose his main base now that he's done this quad RPG push on the top right.
Bit of a base trade. We did actually see a second Paladin get constructed in an amazing feat that, again, no one has ever seen in a General 0-hour game before. But a bit of a messy engagement on both sides. It looks like ExCaL is just dominating through building after building, though.
Yeah, so Size, if he's got any chance of winning here, he does need to complete the base trade, because he's definitely going to lose his main base. His palace is going to get cancelled. His arms there, his supply. So at least, he's forcing ExCaL to sell at the top right here. But ExCal's making a new home at the top left with his second fire base going down.
So ExCaL trying to stabilize, but Size has almost nothing to stop ExCaL back home. 2 Vs and a Paladin. I'm not sure how many actual rocket defenders are inside, missile defenders are inside of those Vs. And the firebase is not quite done yet. The quad's not jumping on it, but they're going for the Chinooks instead. They choose not to close the distance, and yep, Size is going to have to back off.
Very interestingly, Size actually got 11k. So Size is known for being obviously one of the best players, but he also at stages will float an insane amount of cash. We just saw him there with 11k. He is now spending some of it because he's building a new base, the same place where ExCaL was building that new base in the previous game.
So Size is going to try and mount some kind of a wonky comeback. He's got at least 3, 4, 5 oil derricks, so he does have a decent amount of income despite how much he's been disrupted. But are 5 oil derricks going to be enough for Size?
Well, for Size, I think he's still got a chance, probably more chance than ExCaL did in the previous game. But okay. These quads, like we saw in the air and tank game, the Vs can just kill the quads one by one with the correct micro. But if you have a load of technicals out, you can surround the Vs and you can generally win a lot of engagements. So yeah, Size likes to make the quads, but will that cost him the game? We're yet to see.
Little base on the left side of the map going down. ExCaL continuing to rack up more and more veterancy on this little squad of Vs and the ambulance. And for now, Size is, well, just rebuilt literally everything there on the right side of the map.
Yeah, a bit of a desperation supply. He built that supply way out in the open just so he could get his arms dealer down. But if he'd just built it a little further south, like where he's done his other one now, that other one wasn't needed. So yeah, he is selling that original one now.
Gets rid of it. ExCaL backs off. He's heading back over to the left side of the map, kind of regrouping. The command center coming back up for ExCaL in his kind of new main base there in the top left-hand corner. And ExCaL is going to be stealing one of the oils back from Size. So Size, as you mentioned, has pretty much spent almost all of his cash. He's down below 1,000. All that cash that he was floating for so long, he's finally reconciled that.
So yeah, the point Size wants to get to now is he wants to hold on until he gets that palace up, because when he gets the buggies, buggies and quads are basically complete anti-Vs. So ExCaL needs to stop this palace or do the damage now whilst he's got the kind of army advantage. Ooh, but that was a painful shot from the artillery platform.
The artillery platform actually coming in to be a factor in this game. I think it just claimed another V as well, or did some big damage. The bunker, or the building rather, does die. And for now, 4 Vs managed to escape.
So yeah, very, very interesting game. But like you said before, a bit of a wonky game. Yeah, Size will be trying to mount a wonky comeback. But yeah, ExCal's on a bit of a timer, because once that palace is up, the amount of buggies that's going to be out for Size is going to be scary, because they can just shoot these Vs from range. It's going to be a hard time for ExCaL.
ExCaL splitting a single Humvee down to the south. He's going for some kind of harassment, or maybe he's going to try and shut down this supply, but he's going to get jumped on by a quad, and that's a double vet or a triple vet quad, a double vet quad, which takes down the Humvee.
So yeah, ExCaL now expanded to a second supply. He's collecting from the center left supply, and he's got himself 2 oils, I think. Yeah, he has got 2 oils, so his economy's not that bad. This palace is almost finished, so ExCal's still on a bit of a time limit.
The quad's mostly in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, not near a tunnel to teleport back home, which means these Humvees are pretty much uncontested. There are still 4 quads inside, but they get jumped by the A-10. The Warthog kills at least a couple of those quads, and another one steps out of the arms dealer, but it barely manages to escape.
Yeah, that was a really painful hit for Size. Popped out his quads. I think there was like 3 there. And instantly the A-10 comes in. So it shows you how well ExCaL timed that support power. Comes in and takes the quads out as soon as they pop out. But this massive army of quads, like you said, pushing down this left-hand side, stopping ExCaL from collecting from the mid for now.
ExCaL coming back over to the left side of the map with his Humvees. He, I don't think he did quite as much as he was hoping to do there on the right side of the map. The palace wasn't even really threatened, and this has bought Size a little bit more time, but can he keep his quads alive, I think, is the real question.
So yeah, I think those quads are guaranteed to go down, but the question is how much damage can Size do with them? He does pick off 1 V, and importantly takes out that oil there. So ExCal's economy has been hurt, and the main reason he's probably done that is to buy himself time. So now he's got his first buggy out, and that becomes a lot easier for Size to deal with the Vs.
A fresh supply opening up in the bottom left-hand corner of the map for Size. 2 more quad cannons in the top side of the map going to be going hunting. I don't know, they're looking for search and destroy finally coming up. So the strategy center is up for ExCaL. And these quads in the north not quite finding anything.
So yeah, ExCal's recognized that Size has gone for that supply in the bottom left and gone to clear it. It's going to clear this sneaky tunnel that Size was trying to build as well. Size not going to cancel it, not going to get his $800 back. But the question is, how many buggies are out? I've only seen 1 or 2. Ooh, I did see 3 actually. There is 3 inside the tunnel, I think.
And they pop out just to the north of the Humvees. They do manage to get off 1 volley. None of the Humvees actually go down just yet. A couple of black markets going down with the supply in the bottom right-hand corner. But 1 Humvee gets sniped very nicely there by Size. And that clock that you were talking about, well, it's starting to run out for ExCaL. Can he do enough damage with this push that the buggies don't matter. There's a lot of buggies.
Yeah, there's a lot of buggies, but because these Vs are tucked behind this supply, and because of this cliff terrain, the buggies are going to have a difficult time getting a decent angle there. And Size has taken a lot of damage, because not only is his bottom left supply now being cleared, but now his bottom right one, and he's just lost an arms dealer there as well. So Size not on the greatest of economies right now.
Missile defenders and Humvees coming together on the right side of the map, both in the north and the south. So I don't know, maybe ExCaL is going to try some kind of double-pronged attack. A quad cannon steps out in the north and gets taken down. So everything's coming up ExCaL in the last minute or so.
Yeah, and ExCal's just killed Size's oil in the bottom right. So Size is now only on... He's got 1 black market, 3 oils, and 1 supply. But actually, if we compare that to ExCal's, he's on, like, what, 2 supplies and 1 oil? So it's not that far off even, I suppose.
Yeah, Size once again floating 4,500 credits, just spent 2,000 of it. But I guess we'll have to see if he can tend, because they both have pretty good standing armies. And more so, I feel like ExCaL has a bigger, scarier standing army. So even if his economy sucks for the next couple of minutes, if he can keep his army alive, he may still be able to do quite a lot.
Yeah, the amount of Vs getting out now is getting pretty scary. So he's got them 3 Vs down the bottom, which are pretty much... 2 of them are triple vet, and 1 of them is a vet 2. But then he's got this new army at the top as well. He's got Search and Destroy, so yeah, his army's pretty scary as well.
And he still has the Paladin. Not for long, but he's still technically. And it's dead.
Such a shame to see a rare tank go down that way.
I can't believe that in a best of 15 we actually saw 2 tanks get constructed by a USA player. Not something I would have expected to see even if we had 30 games to watch. But in this case, it did actually happen.
So yeah, you do sometimes see laser tanks, and sometimes Crusader tanks are probably the most common one, Crusaders. Yeah, to see a Paladin, I mean, you've been treated specially tonight.
A10 Warthog Strike takes out another oil derrick, so ExCaL doing what he can to do some damage. This feels like a bit of a messy engagement here. These were high-vet Humvees, but I don't know that they're actually, any of them are going to survive. 1 right now, but the buggies come in. The pilots survive for the moment, but most of the pilots have already gone down.
Yeah, and I see Size has tried to reclaim that supply down at the bottom, but I have a feeling there might be a Pathfinder inside of that building. So every time Size sends a worker, I think it might get sniped, if ExCaL did leave a sniper there.
This is rough. Those Humvees all going down. Has Size bought himself enough space with crushing that last army of ExCaL?
Well, it's going to be interesting. It's the amount of buggies, but I just worry about Size's economy. He's only on 1 oil, and his supplies are about to dry out as well. Meanwhile, ExCal's got a much better economy now. So, yeah, whilst he's got these...
2 buggies. 2 buggies there in the middle of the map get caught. The quads take down every single Chinook. One of them maybe survives as the quads pull away from the Vs and trying to dodge in with the buggies as they don't actually kill any of the Vs. They both fire off, but they miss.
So yeah, Size is picking off a few of the Vs. The quad's now running away. But is Size going to be able to replace these? He's spending all of his money now. He's only on like $1,000. Dropping down his CC.
The pilot gets eliminated. The buggies once again jumping out, and they fire off, but they keep missing the actual kills on these Humvees. A number of Humvees coming very close to death, but not actually dying, and those little bits of advantage that ExCaL gets, maybe the difference of him surviving in this game. Finally, the buggies get a kill there.
So yeah, these buggies are causing some damage, but meanwhile, ExCaL has now expanded to the bottom left supply. He's still collecting from the top right supply. He's captured the oil that Size had at the top right. So his economy right now is far stronger than Size, and Size is about to mine out on his supply on the right side by the refinery.
And Size no longer has that big bank, so it's all coming down to the... Well, he's got 20 grand in that supply dock in the south, but something tells me ExCaL is not going to let him easily harvest from that for the rest of this game. So the 2,500 credits versus the 5,500 bank of ExCaL could be a bit of a problem for Size.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a rough few minutes coming up from Size. He needs to take a few favorable engagements like we saw before, picking off some more of these Vs. We've got a leaflet or a fuel air bomb coming in from ExCaL to finish off the other oil. And V's going down left, right, and center for ExCaL in the middle.
The quads and the Vs clashing, and all of the quads get eliminated. But as you said, 3 Vs going down. And no ambulance. The ambulance got sniped earlier by the buggies, and I think it wasn't remade by ExCaL. So these Vs, the damage is a little more permanent on them.
So Size is trying something really sneaky down the bottom left. He's trying to construct that tunnel again, but ExCaL has found it, and he's going to go and crush the worker. But the dozer has just parked up next to the worker.
Instead of actually going for the kill, they're just talking next to each other there. Tunnel goes down in the bottom right, and the pilot doesn't actually jump inside of that Humvee. All of these workers are going down. The supply will be destroyed as well, and Size has nothing in the area to actually stop this.
Yeah, Size's army is out in the middle, and it's only 2 quads and 2 buggies. Meanwhile, ExCaL's economy has got 5.7k in the bank, and Size's supply, like you said earlier, Size is not going to be allowed to collect from that for very long, and a few minutes later ExCaL is there to clear it again. So yeah, looking pretty rough for Size. I think this is going to be a GG, a win for ExCaL, it looks like.
Size definitely putting up a good fight as we actually get towards the 20-minute mark in this game. A lot of these matches being much quicker than that, but in this case, Size putting up a really good fight and definitely nearly taking it from ExCaL, but yeah, ExCaL feeling much more in control in the last couple of minutes.
So yeah, Size is actually doing quite a nice push here. It's just, it's going to run out of steam soon because he hasn't got that much economy to replace it. Meanwhile, ExCaL's Vs are coming in from the south, and every unit that gets picked off from Size here is not going to be able to be replaced unless he starts probably selling buildings.
One V goes down, another one very low on health, but manages to escape. And yeah, okay, so he escapes with 4 of those Vs and a ton of missile defenders. 2 buggies, they just went to nowhere. Why were they even there? Trades out both of the buggies for nothing.
Yeah, that's a bad loss that Size cannot afford to take. Comes in with 2 more buggies. Does manage to pick off 1 V.
Keeping those V numbers down has been a full-time job for Size, and sometimes he's looked just fantastic at it, but other times he's just looked full of mistakes when he's trying to snipe those Vs.
So A10 comes in, has cleared that tunnel, cleared this building. The buggies coming in once again. Size just keeps finding these buggies out of thin air and taking out more Vs. ExCaL now only on 3k.
Burning through some of that cash that he's been acquiring. He's still got that untouched supply in the bottom left-hand corner. You kind of mentioned that there were some sneaky tunnel shenanigans attempting to happen, but Size never was able to do anything, and there's the GG as Size has been defeated.
You have been defeated.
Yeah, that was well played, and probably the best game we've seen so far. It's definitely the longest, almost 20 minutes. But I think one of the main keys there for ExCaL's win is he always had that safe oil in the top middle of his base, and then he had, for about the second half of the game, that top right oil. So oils, although they're not a massive income, over a period of time they do add up. So every V you're taking out is getting replaced a minute later by the oil. So
yeah, not the same could be said for Size. It was really down to that big push that Size made against, or that ExCaL made against Size, where you kind of mentioned that Size needed to go a little harder with the base trade. And because he didn't, because ExCaL completely disrupted Size in the southern half of the map, forcing Size to reset over to the right side of the map, Size was kind of playing catch-up from there. And he got very close to catching up at a number of points in that game, but ultimately ExCaL takes it.
yeah, Size is interesting when he plays his GLA because he likes to stick with the quad cannons and likes to go for the base trade and things like that. Whereas if you watch 95% of other players, they'll be making technicals, like when we saw ExCaL play. He made a couple of quads, I think, but primarily it was technicals running around the map, trying to pick off a dozer or pick off a power plant. So yeah, I prefer the technicals because you can actually take on the Vs then.
So GLA China, talk to me about this matchup.
Okay, GLA and China, it's snowy drought. So the thing about this map is this is probably the new tournament desert. Like, you said about Tournament Rift being the most popular in CNC 3 and Kane's. Is it Kane's Wrath?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Snowy Drought is probably the new most popular kind of equivalent of Tournament Rift. And I think if I know Tournament Rift is kind of a similar. This is top versus bottom, but you've got like that middle supply area. Whereas I think in Tournament Rift, you've got that middle supply area, but it's left versus right. Is that kind of right?
Yeah. So it's left versus right. You expand. Your natural expansion is to the south, and then there is a big contested third field directly in between your main bases. So a lot of it comes down to like that. What can you do on 2-base economy? Which, I mean, it's a little bit different, but like what could you do on 2-supply economy as you fight for the third?
Okay, so that's kind of similar here, but with Snowy Drought, you've got that third supply is a little bit closer to you, and the enemy also has that third supply a little bit closer to them, so it's kind of split. But because it is more out in the open, it can be a point of contest. Like if the China gets a flamer there, for example, and parks it behind, it's kind of hard to deal with. So,
actually, this is Pipeline Problems, which is another Tib Wars Kane's Wrath map. But looking at the preview of the map, it's exactly laid out like Pipeline Problems. Is there an artillery? Are there like 2 artillery platforms on that kind of left center?
Yes, exactly. 2 artillery platforms and a repair base. So is it a remake of that? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know which one came first. Is Snowy Drought a community map? Or is Snowy Drought? Does Snowy Drought come with the game?
We're talking the last couple of years. It didn't come with the game, no.
Oh, okay, then this is definitely a make of Pipeline Problems from Tib Wars and Kane's Wrath.
Yes, there are a number of maps in 0 Hour where we, especially the Russian community, deliberately went out to CNC 3 and Kane's Wrath and took some of the maps, like Small Town USA. We've got a version of that, but for 0 Hour. So I'll show you that one later. You'll probably laugh at how similar it looks.
Oh, that's great. Small Town USA is such a weird map, but it's such like it's like a knife fight in a phone booth kind of a map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same on 0 Hour, to be honest. It's very, very close to. And people think it's a bit weird, but actually it usually ends up on epic games on that map.
Yeah, as long as you don't have to be the one who actually plays them. As long as we get to watch other people play them.
Yeah, no pressure and no silly maps for us. We just like to commentate. Okay, so we got ExCaL down in the south. He's playing with the China Vanilla in the purple color.
And in the north, as the Vanilla GLA. This is size. So we're into game number 7, and it's what is it, like 4-2 ExCal's favor?
4-2 ExCal's favor, yeah, exactly right.
All right, and we are on Snowy Drought, aka Pipeline Problems. The only difference is on Pipeline Problems, they're in the middle center instead of a vehicle tech repair bay. You get an EMP control center, so that's really the difference there. But I'm excited to see exactly how this map plays out.
So I think most people here, well, most viewers, most people watching will think GLA is significantly stronger than China. China, one of the weaker factions, and GLA, one of the stronger factions. But the thing about this map is if you can kind of hold your own as China in the beginning and secure this third supply, which ExCaL has done nice and early, once you've done that and you've survived the initial attack, if you get helixes out, China is actually very strong on this map because of the length of the map and the mobility of going left and right. So once the helixes are out, you can do some big damage. But saying that, Size has got this sneaky tunnel down in the bottom right.
He did manage to sneak past. In the previous game, we saw Size try and sneak past ExCaL, but it didn't work out. In this case, it looks like it has worked out. We also have a terrorist cutting down the left side of the map. We'll have to see if he slowly, as he waddles his way across the map, if he's slowly able to actually do anything.
So ExCaL has no idea about the sneaky tunnel on the bottom right, but I think it's definitely going to come back to haunt ExCaL. A huge army could pop from there at any moment from Size, and he is making quads straight away.
Technical going to be trying to trade out with a GAT, but it's actually 4 RPGs inside of the Technical, and the Technical survives. Also, he drops something, but I think it got canceled there.
So what he's doing there is something that the pros do in 0 Hour. You could call it a bug, but we actually think it balances the game more, so we do allow it. So when a unit dies to a GLA unit, it leaves behind scrap, and if you place a scaffold over the scrap, it does deny the scrap. It deletes it from the map.
Oh. Okay. So then you place the scaffold and then delete it or cancel it so you get the cash back and deny the scrap. That's great.
Exactly, but if the GLA is paying attention, so Size was a little bit slow there, then you do have the opportunity to cancel or kill the scaffold, in which case he'll lose the $500 from the barracks.
Nice control of the Gats as he actually saves one of them. One goes down to the quads, but Size not able to get the kill on the second Gat. And actually also pushing away the quads means that he does kind of deny the scrap as well. So 2 more quads going to be showing up, trying to target down the Dragon Tank and 2 RPGs as well. But this many Gats should be able to deal with this, no?
Yeah, it looks like ExCaL's doing a pretty good job out of a bad situation, because these 2 tunnels here are going to be hard to clear. Like your quads as GLA, you can just mass produce quads and it pretty much counters anything that China can make. So that's all Size is going to be doing. Meanwhile, ExCaL, you'll see a lot more unit variation. He's making flamers, he's making the Gats, he's going for a helix as well already.
He's got the bunker upgrade. The quads step back out of the tunnel. They manage to get the kill on the Dragon Tank, and then they're going to be able to escape, hopefully, before a single one of them goes down. No! It looks like the Gats do manage to get 1 quad, and they buy time for this helix to load up with the tank hunters.
So yeah, interesting decision here from Size. Like, whilst he's got control of that the bottom right area, he probably would want to think about killing that refinery or the oil. But Size is quite a greedy guy and he likes to just go for everything, so he'll probably plan on even capturing that for himself. Whereas a lot of people will probably just be thinking, if I lose this area, you at least want to take the oil and refinery with you, so you'll probably be force firing that down. But Size choosing not to do that.
Yeah, it would definitely be the, go for the safety kind of kill. The Dragon Tank goes down. It absorbs a lot of damage, which means 1, maybe 2 quads get eliminated by those Gats. None of the quads, or not all of the quads, escape back through the tunnel. And, well, 2 RPG troopers pop out of the tunnel in the bottom right-hand corner. They're going for the bunker, I guess, in the very corner of the map. Is that actually going to be useful, that bunker position?
I mean, if you drop a tunnel next to the bunker as well, it will be. But once those 2 tunnels get cleared, a flamer can just go over there and clear that out with ease. But I suppose it's still an extra bunker. If you've got some spare RPGs, might as well use them.
So ExCaL actually making the effort to send his Gats back to the War Factory to get repaired. I feel like most of the time I don't actually see that. The Gats just stay all in a group. They don't get individually repaired like we're seeing ExCaL do. So is that something that he does specifically, or is that more common and I just miss it?
Any of the top level players should always be doing that. Any of the expert and considered players, yeah, they should be sending their units back. Because I always tell people on stream, if you've ever got a 10% HP Gat, like, what use is that going to be? It's going to be of no use. So you might as well send it back and have a free 100% Gat. Massive engagement here. Flamer does go down. And ExCaL is pushing these tunnels back. But that bunker that you pointed out is actually coming of use there.
Surprisingly, it does come back, and the tunnel does finish just in time. So 2 tunnels being eliminated, but a 3rd one has already been established, which means the quads do manage to escape. A 4th tunnel trying to be constructed there by ExCaL, or by Size, excuse me. And ExCaL, as we kind of mentioned, Size should maybe force fire down the refinery, and as it turns out, he didn't need to, because ExCaL burned it down for him.
Yeah, that's true. And if this game does play out into the late game, even if ExCaL manages to clear this, that refinery knocks 10% off the price of all your vehicles. It does add up if you're producing a lot of Gats, like we're seeing. So yeah, that might come back to hit his economy later. Meanwhile, Size has got his own refinery, got his oil. It's on 2 arms dealers and taking over pretty much most of the map.
All right, the helixes are nearby, but they're not going to be able to safely engage. A couple of Inferno cannons are being mixed into this army, and ECMs are here as well. All of the quads jump inside of the tunnel and do try to escape, but now is going to be Size's, or ExCaL's, opportunity to try and clear Size out of the bottom right-hand corner of the map.
Yeah, so you do need 3 Inferno cannons to create the firestorms. You'll see at the moment they're not creating a firestorm, but now this 3rd one is going to join. That will cause massive damage to this area very, very quick. And I don't think that Size is teched up, so he's going to have a hard time against these Infernos.
Black Lotus also here, just to go for the cap of the oil derrick, I assume. And then, yeah, these tunnels going to be getting cleared. A 5th tunnel is there in kind of the bottom left corner of this little area. But I assume that's also going to get cleaned up by ExCaL.
So yeah, whilst ExCaL has been dealing with this, he also sent 2 helixes across the map. If you look towards the top oil, you can just see the last one gone down. You can see the chassis. So yeah, that was a big moment. He sent 2 helixes there, and both of them have gone down for basically nothing.
Bit of a mistake there by ExCaL. ExCaL does clean up that final tunnel, but yeah, losing those helixes for nothing is certainly not what he wants.
So yeah, Size needs to finish that palace ASAP, because these Inferno Cannons will be able to wreck every tunnel and every defense that Size has. So Size needs to keep ExCaL as busy as possible in order to get that palace tech out, and you'll either go battle buses or buggies to try and combat these Infernos.
RPGs and a worker trying to make their way to the south, but they get caught in the firestorm by ExCaL, and ExCaL slowly but surely moving his way north, clearing everything GLA out of the map.
Yeah, that's for sure. And ExCal's just got 1500 XP, as we can see on the left-hand side. So that means you will be able to use a carpet bomb and artillery now. You'll probably want to time it well, like he did before. We saw with the A10 when he took out them quads. Are we going to see something as epic as in that game we just saw before?
Yeah, now one thing that I do want to... You kind of mentioned Size grabbing the refinery earlier, and something I want to mention as well is he's got the repair bay on the left side. It feels like Size is trying to play a very efficient game, and ExCaL is going for like the big punch with all of the firepower. But we have kind of ships passing in the night as a huge group of quads passes the entire army of ExCaL, and the carpet bomb, is it going to actually get it?
Let's kill a few quads. About 5 quads went down there to the carpet bomb, but now these quads are split up a little bit. They're taking some damage from these GATs. A few MiGs got picked off there, but ExCal's now coming back with his whole army of ECMs and GATs. And this will give ExCaL a load of XP, but I think what Size is trying to do is buy himself time to get these buggies out, because we can see the palace is now up and he's dropping down his first black market.
A war factory for ExCaL going to be getting eliminated by these quads, and it looks like at this point Size is almost just happy to trade out these quads to buy himself more and more time, as you mentioned there. So he's driving further and further away from this GAT army. At the same time, ExCal's advance to the north has been pretty much shut down. The quads jumping on these Inferno Cannons, grabbing 3-4 of them as the MiGs clear out the quads, but almost every Inferno Cannon has gone down.
Yeah, that is an absolutely huge hit. Really, really smart play there from Size. Catching the Inferno Cannons out, recognizing that all the GATs had gone down the south, and then picked off like 5 Inferno Cannons. So really, really smart play there from Size. But the only bad thing for that is that ExCaL has killed a hell of a lot of units and got a lot more XP than Size does.
Okay, so I guess we'll have to see if Size can do something about that XP difference, because you're right, throughout this whole game, but especially in the last 1 to 2 minutes, ExCaL has been winning the engagements piece by piece. Size has been making some smart moves, but ExCaL has actually been killing more stuff.
Yeah, and if Size loses control of this third supply, which it looks like he might, because once these Infernos get there, that supply is going to be denied. The artillery does kill all the workers. Now these Inferno Cannons clearing this left side island. That repair bay that we see in the middle is a very important building, because it repairs all of your vehicles, even whilst fighting for free. So massive, massive building to get.
ExCaL decides to not actually kill it. He kind of turns away even before the tunnel is completely gone. He sends the Inferno Cannons north, as DoMiNaToR just mentioned, and, well, the supply is going to go down. There isn't a whole lot here from Size to stop that. He's trying to jump with the quads, but most of ExCaL survives. I guess he does lose 3 Inferno Cannons.
Yeah, he did lose 2 or 3 Inferno Cannons, which is good. Size wants to pick off as many of them as he can. So whilst the Inferno Cannons do a lot of damage, they're very weak in terms of HP. Unless to shoot them for a little while with the quads, and they go down with relative ease. But ExCaL has kept 3 alive, and he is creating a firestorm on that supply. Worker is burning alive there in the firestorm. More tunnels being cleared here.
Yeah, ExCaL slowly but surely marching further and further north and just pushing GLA completely off the map. There was another quad pop, so a bunch of quads jumped out of the tunnel. They got a kill, I think, on 1 single GAT, but that was it. The majority of ExCal's army has been able to avoid the quads just destroying them.
So yeah, if Size was almost level 5 now, he'd have the Anthrax Bomb and Sneak Attack, in which case I'd probably say Size would win this. But because he hasn't killed actually that much stuff compared to how much ExCaL has killed, ExCaL is going to be on level 5, which means he's going to have EMP, like an extra level of an extra level of artillery. Obviously the mine drop. So yeah, Size is significantly behind in terms of XP. A bit of a push here on the right side of the quads.
The quads step forward. They're going to be trading out with the tank hunters in the bunker. A couple of GATs as well. No, ExCaL decides to not engage, but he's got the MiGs to come in to help finish off the quad cannons. No MiGs go down. All 4 do manage to escape, and that felt kind of disastrous for Size. Was that actually okay for him?
No, that was a bad one. A bad decision, I think, by Size. But I think it might have been a bit of a desperation move because he's got very few forward tunnels. He's actually got no forward tunnels anymore. So he kind of felt he had to attack somewhere. He chose to attack there, but yeah, he lost all of his quads once again.
There's the Firestorm directly on top of the tunnel once again, and just constant Inferno Cannon production, it feels like. So even though ExCaL has lost many Inferno Cannons over the course of this game, and he's about to lose potentially another one in the middle of the map, but he's just always replacing them. So even if they go down, he's always got 5 or 6 in his army.
Yeah, this is a very impressive play by ExCaL. Like I said earlier, people consider, whoa, that EMP has disabled all of the quads.
Oh my gosh, everything going down, even the MiGs getting in on the action, and a couple of GATs, a couple of Inferno Cannons did go down on ExCal's side, but Size's army is, I guess, like these 6 or 7 quads in the northern half of the map, and that's it.
Yeah, that is it. I feel like this is probably going to be Size's last attack. But yeah, people say China Vanilla is one of the weakest factions, or the weakest faction, but ExCaL is showing, at least on this map, how China Vanilla can be played. He's playing it with absolute perfection here. Won pretty much every engagement he's took, despite the bad start earlier.
Yeah, Size has made a bunch of very good, like, strategic level decisions, but when it comes down to the actual engagements, he just has not been able to deliver. This is great, catching a couple of Inferno Cannons, but it feels like he's winning pennies in a poker game, and ExCaL is taking the pot. It's like little victories like this, but no big wins.
That's true. The important thing there is he's taken out enough Inferno Cannons to stop him getting the Firestorms. These Inferno Cannons are going to do a lot less damage. But that said, he has nothing left, and he GG's right there. Absolute perfection there from ExCaL.
Just a great control game that he played, starting with clearing that bottom right-hand corner of the map, and then just slowly, inch by inch, progressively clearing GLA from the map. Never overstepping his bounds, never getting too hot-headed and thinking he has to go for a base trade or overcommitting to a fight. Just slow, methodical 15-minute game where ExCaL very precisely clears Size right out of the game.
Yeah, really amazing. After that sneaky tunnel from Size, like we said earlier, Size will often just send his first worker straight down the middle of the map into like a really obvious place, build a tunnel, and half of the time it will actually get up and win the game. Most players would have died to that tunnel. ExCal's showing us how to keep cool and calm, collected under pressure, and executing a win, and that's exactly what he did.
ExCaL claiming another point. Is that 5-2 for ExCaL now?
5-2 is the score, and now he will get the opportunity to play with GLA. So a few people in the stream chat are saying here it's going to be 6-2. It could well be the way things are going.
Yeah, I mean, ExCaL played China very well, so I think if Size can do something similar. Was the problem that Size never got buggy numbers? Is that why he was having such trouble with ExCaL in that game, or was there something else going on? Why did Size lose that in that fashion?
I think, like you quite rightly pointed out, quads against Inferno Cannons is always going to go badly. You always have to catch them off guard or go for a counterattack. So yeah, Size committed to the 2 arms daily production and a late palace and paid the price for it.
Okay. So I guess that's the thing for ExCaL to learn from.
Yeah, will we see ExCaL go for the 2 arms dealers or a quicker palace? Or maybe he'll still go for the 2 arms dealers, but just less quads. Maybe he'll still go for a quicker palace. Let's see. We do have ExCaL in the north. He's playing with a GLA Vanilla this time in the purple color.
And way down in the score, but also way down in the South Plane as Vanilla China. As the blue, it's big Size. Big ol' Size. He's definitely got to start putting some points back onto the board as we are coming up to our 8th game in this series. We're past the halfway mark for this best of 15, and it is feeling so much more confidently in ExCaL's favor.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
believe in big size, but maybe less.
If he does lose this one and the score goes 6-2, I mean, losing by 4 games is going to require some kind of a epic comeback. So let's see if he's able to claw this one back and make it a 5-3. He's gone for a truck rush straight down the middle of the map, which is not usual of Size, actually. It's not usually known for the truck rush. It's usually ExCaL that's going for that.
Well, we'll see if he gets anything for it. There is a terrorist waiting for the truck. Will he actually get the kill on the truck, though? It looks like he is going to meet it.
That truck really is living on the edge. And I think it will go down without killing any workers. So straight away, that's $600 lost there for Size. And not only is it $600, but it's also your first truck that would otherwise be collecting money that you have to then remake. So, yeah, it does hinder your economy. So he's going to have a slower start than ExCaL did in the previous.
Yeah, so I guess trucks give you exactly 51 experience. How about that?
Yeah, some of the units do give away odd numbers. You think
I do like
just round
what
it to 50?
is doing. Yeah, like I don't know why is it 51. I do like what ExCaL is doing. The double tunnel on the right side of the map. The terrorist's clearing out some building, by the way. But the double tunnel on the right side of the map, kind of inferno-proof, as it gives you an opportunity to pop out if the Inferno cannons start targeting one of your tunnels. But then he's also got the civilian building in between the 2 tunnels.
Yeah, I think that setup there is really against a dragon tank. If a dragon tank comes in, those 2 tunnels combined with 1 or 2 quads, it's going to be basically impossible for the dragon tank to flush that out in the early game. So, yeah, it's a really decent fortification there from ExCaL. And he's coming in with his technicals now. Going to pick off 1 GAT and tank hunter there of Size.
Gets a supply truck as well. Now, Size in the middle of the map was trying to go for a bit of a push with the Dragon Tank. He's reinforcing it with a second Dragon Tank and a Helix. So he's trying to make something happen, but as you mentioned, ExCaL is pushing down the right side of the map.
So yeah, Size in a difficult situation, because not only has he got to worry about this right side, but he's also dealing with this aggression as well. He did kill a barracks with the Flamer. And yeah, interesting choice. He's gone for the Helix with the Gatling on it, and he's going to chase down this technical, but he's going to lose a lot of HP on the Helix as well.
Does lose 2 more supply trucks or 1 more supply truck as he gets all of the RPG troopers as well. The Flamer in the north got cleaned up by the quads, and for now the quads have survived over here on the right side of the map. The Helix does not go for the engage.
Yeah, so we're seeing a difficult situation now for Size. It's similar to the previous game. The tunnel's in a slightly different position, but the difference here is that Size has lost, like I think in total 4 trucks. Oh, plus the one that he rushed with, so that's 5 trucks. So yeah, his economy is not that great, and we're seeing that he's got less units out, because ExCaL in the previous game, he had about 5 or 6 GATs out at this point, whereas Size has just got a couple of Flamers.
Yeah, and rebuilding those supply trucks one after the other. 3 Flamers trying to firewall out these quads, but the quads do get some nice damage off on 1 Dragon Tank, and they may actually be able to pick up another supply truck kill without any real damage against them. Never mind, they actually step through the flame wall and all die.
So I think 3 quads went down for 1 Dragon Tank, so that's not really that worth it for ExCaL, but he is keeping on the pressure still, keeping Size on his toes.
Helix comes back to base, kind of doing some hunting over on the left side of the map. 4 quads pop on the left side of the map. They're going to try and find an opening there along the left edge. We'll have to see if Size is able to deal with that. He does have a Helix going over there, but that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yes, Size did well there to recognize those quads were there, because he wasn't expecting any tunnels there, and 4 quads might have caught him off guard, but luckily for him, he was paying attention. It could have been an expensive loss. Tech RPG through the middle, but the Helix does find it. But how much HP has the Helix got? It's got plenty actually to fight this. So the RPGs will go down.
Cleans up all of them very nicely. Quads finally arriving at the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Can they actually shut down this propaganda center? There's a listening outpost, a GAT, and a Dragon Tank here to respond, but the propaganda center taking a lot of damage right away.
Yeah, the propaganda center is known for not having that much HP. It does go down really easy. Size is taking out the quads, but is this dozer going to get picked off as well? And is that his last? No, it's not his last dozer. He does have 1 more.
Is this worth it, these 4 quads for the propaganda center? I guess he's getting a supply truck as well, but is that normally worth it?
I probably would say resetting the propaganda and the tech whilst you've got your oil and refinery in the top right as well. Keeping Size busy, I probably would say that's still worth it.
Okay.
Because Size is going to use the Lotus that he's going to get from that to capture his oil and refinery. And now his refinery and oil are delayed a lot. So yeah, I think worth it.
Okay. So Size with the reset there. Not going to get his Black Lotus out as quickly as he would have otherwise. He's now kind of mixing or resetting into like a more normal kind of China composition. Listening outposts, GATs. He's got the Helix still running around. He's managed to keep that alive. ExCaL forming just a line of like infinite defenses on the right side of the map. The 4 tunnels, the building, and now a Stinger site going down, all just south of that supply.
Yeah, for me, it's interesting. And once again, we're not seeing a quick game. Like if you saw Tournament Desert, you probably would see GLA will beat China in the first couple of minutes, usually. But yeah, we're seeing it once again, going past, it looks like we're going to go past 7 minutes at least. And Size is stabilizing, approaching level 3, so it means a carpet and artillery. He's putting in some work with these flamers, which are going to go down though to the quads.
And they don't even get a single quad, at least not just yet. The quads turn back around. Gatling cuts down a rebel kind of in the middle of the map, denying the capture of any of those neutral structures there. A technical in the bottom right-hand corner, I assume it has RPGs inside of it or something. He's trying to go hunting, but doesn't catch anything.
Yeah, that technical in the bottom right did go down, but I think because Size lost his propaganda center, he had red guards there ready to capture, but he lost them as well to the technical. So now he's made a Lotus and going over there, but once again, the oil and refinery delayed for Size. So yeah, approaching 8 minutes and only just getting the oil in refinery is not the greatest timing to be getting those.
Yeah, so big delays. ExCaL doing what he can to try and maintain control of this game. An additional technical here on the left side of the map coming down. Once again, it gets caught by the Helix. Size big on those Helixes. Kills both of the terrorists as well, so completely shuts down that attack by ExCaL. And Size, you know, he hasn't been in control of this game, but he hasn't been letting it slip away from him. He's been kind of maintaining some kind of control.
So one amazing thing here that Size is doing is actually preserved both doses, because ExCaL, he's most... If you ask anyone online what's ExCaL most renowned for, yeah, some people will say he's a great player, but his most renowned tactic is to dozer hunt you. So he'll dozer hunt, and then he'll form that big line of defense that you mentioned, and that is 50% of his strategy, and usually it'll get you win. Like, people say, oh, it's a bit lame and whatever, but if it gets you the win, who really cares? As long as you're winning the money, you're winning the tournament. So yeah, the fact that Size has preserved both doses here is actually amazing.
So what can Size really do to... Oh my gosh, a Scud launcher steps out of that tunnel, which looks hilarious visually. Gets a good shot off. Does manage to clean up, I think, an Inferno Cannon, 2 Inferno Cannons, a Dragon Tank, and 2 Listening Outposts.
I think the fact we've just seen that Scud launcher, which, as you say, it does look absolutely mental when that pops out of the tiny little tunnel. The fact that it just did so much damage so straight away, I already think that's going to be ExCaL's game, because these Inferno Cannons are going to be rendered useless. ExCaL's showing you what the counter is, and it's clearly that Scud launcher. Once again, it's going to fire another shot. It's going to hit a load more Infernos. 3 or 4 more go down.
Yeah, gets 3 of them for free. The great Scud launcher control just by utilizing those tunnels. And like you said, it can be something that's very frustrating to play against. And Size maybe kind of slamming his keyboard, having to deal with this tunnel popping from ExCaL. But, you know, this is not the kind of play that we saw from Size when Size was GLA. But in this case, the Helix going to go down to the quads, and this is just feeling so much in ExCaL's favor.
Yeah, ExCaL's also got a burst down the bottom right, so he's going to take out that oil straight away. It's looking very, very bad for Size right now. He's lost his Helix. The Gats and the Infernos will remain. Are trying to come in to defend this, but I think he's definitely going to lose his oil. It's going down now.
Yeah, maybe he saves the refinery, but the quads and the Gats going to trade out. The Gats do manage to win the fight without losing a single Gat, so he keeps all of them alive. And I guess eventually the bus will go down, but he may actually get the refinery as well. Wow.
So yeah, it's quite an important build in the refinery. A lot of people overlook it, but 10% reduction on the 3 war factories, because if you count, Size does have 3 war factories and he's spamming from all 3. It does add up over a long period of time. And I think it's actually more value than the oil if you're spamming out of 3 war factories.
Yeah. Black Lotus in the middle of the map going to be grabbing the defensive platform for Size, but he's also grabbed the repair shop. So he does have some things going for him. I don't know if when it comes to the standing armies, if he actually has enough of an advantage against ExCaL, because ExCaL, as we've kind of mentioned before, ExCaL has been doing such a better job in the actual engagements.
So yeah, I think Size is making a big mistake here. Like, as soon as I would have saw the Scud launchers, I would have changed tactics, maybe go for mass MiGs or something. And although he is doing MiGs, he's still making a hell of a lot of Infernos, and we've seen how well those Infernos are doing versus the Scud launchers. They're not doing very well at all. One hit from the Scud launcher is taking 4 or 5 Infernos at a time, so still making them at this point, I think that's a mistake.
The supply in the middle of the map, maybe the first additional casualty. Carpet Bomb or Leaflet, something's going to come in here. Try and grab the quads. We'll get the Scud launchers as well, and that was a big death for ExCaL. That was a lot of stuff going down.
That was a very nice hit. I think it was like 5 or 6 quads plus the Scud launcher. Very, very nice hit. And Size needs a few more hits like that, unfortunately, if he's going to be winning this, because these Scud launchers are just raining death down on Size's army every time. There comes the artillery. Looks like a potential level 2 artillery, and I think that will be on the oil. Should be the priority for all players, really. If his enemy has an oil, always try and take that down first.
Vet 3 Scud launcher escapes back into the tunnel, and yeah, as you mentioned, that oil going to get hit with the artillery. Ooh. Barely survives. Wow.
Sometimes that does happen. It just depends on where the artillery shells actually fall. So yeah, sometimes it will survive on 0 or 1% HP, but that's like a slam your keyboard moment, like you said earlier.
That's a tough thing. And the ECM, was it an ECM? What deflected that Scud?
Yeah, it was the ECM.
But I mean, it still does damage, and the quads now getting on top of the Dragon tanks, on top of the Infernos, able to clean a couple of them up. The quads not necessarily going to escape as the MiGs come in and clean everything up. But is this just buying time for the Scud launcher that's coming up? It feels like even these engagements that are messy still favor ExCaL. There's the GG, I guess, as everything else goes down.
GG, I guess, from Big Size. Yeah, I think he's a bit frustrated about that.
Yeah, that was like a couple of things in that game go a little bit differently, and then ExCaL is not so much in a lead. But yeah, ExCaL with like a slow, steady lead over the course of that game, gaining inch by inch to be further and further ahead of Size. And as we referenced earlier, I mean, the score 6-2 in ExCaL's favor.
Yeah, you can tell by Size saying the I guess there. I know it's only just I guess, it's not being salty or anything, but you can tell he's frustrated because Size is usually the quiet, calm, collected one. He just says GG, good games, whatever. But yeah, the fact that he said I guess there, I think he's definitely frustrated because I think he thought he played well, but as soon as he saw that Scud launcher, he's just like, oh, you know what? Why didn't I do that in the previous game?
A missed opportunity. Also, I want to call attention to the fact ExCaL 23,000 supply ahead for that game.
Yeah, crazy. I think one of the main reasons was like wouldn't have been a faster third supply. I don't know if he had a faster third supply, but he definitely had the faster oil because we saw and we talked about how Sizes was denied and delayed so long.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were that far apart on economy, but yeah, at the end of the game, 20,000 credits of difference.
Yeah, 23k, that's a lot. Okay,
all right, so we're
infantry
coming
demo.
up to, it's, is this the last potential game? This is like match point? Or no, I guess we got 2 more? If ExCaL wins the next 2, then it's over?
That's correct, yeah. Best of 15 means first to win 8 games, so ExCaL is only 2 away from victory. Big Size is 6 away from his victory. Ooh,
okay.
Got a map for you here. Oh. You might recognize this one.
Is this Small Town USA?
It's not. It's not. Oh, it's a bit different actually. You might not have seen this one before. There we go. Recognize this one?
Why? Oh, this is the no cars variant. Oh.
Yeah.
But why at all?
It does have one other variation. So it's got the open middle. So you normally have them little ridges in the middle that prevent you from going all the way through, but they're taken away. So you can now pass through the middle between the buildings more easy.
Oh, okay. So does that help the game be like a little more, flow a little more and be a little less stalematey?
Yes, it does. Now, I think it enables longer, better games because you're able to collect from a third supply, which is the middle, a little bit easier than having to secure the whole middle. So yeah, it enables longer, better games, I think, anyway.
Yeah, because my main memory of Desert is that it just produces these like endless games that feel like they have no structure to them. It's just like back and forth forever that never ends, but it's just you're watching the same thing for 100 minutes. But hopefully this is a bit better.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this open middle one before, but it definitely will change the game a little bit. Should enable that third supply to get up and yeah, a few more attacks from the GLA player, which we're going to need from Big Size if he's to redeem himself here. He's 6-2 down, and he is in the south playing as the GLA Demolition as the blue color.
And in the north as the purple China, I believe, infantry. This is ExCaL.
So ExCaL straight away going for this forward supply. Probably going to be a truck rush, what he's known for.
Yeah, so we did eventually make it to Tournament Desert. I'm glad to see so many other maps in the rotation of this challenge and of the tournament scene in 0 Hour. So we'll have to see, does this truck rush actually do anything? The terrorist trying to turn around, and I guess, is he going to try and cut this off? What is this terrorist turning around for?
Well, this definitely caught Size off guard. I mean, it's easy to do this to forget about the truck rush, but ExCaL in this matchup as China versus the GLA, 90% of the time he will do a truck rush, so it's annoying when you actually forget that, but it definitely caught Size off guard. His terrorist was out of position. He's been delayed mining already. He's dropped down that demo trap, but ExCaL knows where it is because he's beaconed it.
Yeah, I do love that. So he's trying to defeat ExCaL's truck rush, but it's just like, I guess it's working now because the truck is unable to close the distance with the terrorist there, but
I think the truck will go down now. It doesn't take down even a single worker. So that's the cool thing about demo, is weirdly the terrorists, when they detonate, don't cause splash damage to like friendly units. But if you're any of the other GLAs, it will kill all the workers surrounding.
3 terrorists jump out. They don't get the kill on the supply. I think one of them actually died before he detonated. So the supply does survive. The dozer survives. The trucks survive. But the technical and the terrorists all get eliminated. So Size and ExCaL both with some cheeky moves in the beginning of the game, but not working out how they would like.
So yeah, that's a bad loss there for Size, really not getting a TNT. Because that's done absolutely no damage. He's lost his terrorist in there, like you said, which cost him $600. He does take out an outpost, though, but going to lose his technical for that as well.
Yeah. Then trading out, I guess, RPG troopers versus tank hunters, which is one of the longest battles I think you could even have in 0 Hour, is just the missile troops firing at each other forever.
When you think about it, it's so ridiculous. They're both firing basically bazookas at each other, which would kill a group of guys in one shot, but not in games.
No, you gotta have that balance. A couple of listening outposts in the south able to take down the barracks of Size, and now they're gonna try and hunt some quads or hunt some tunnels. They're gonna go for something.
Yeah, this is already looking very bad for Size. I think he's having a bit of an off day, and ExCaL having an amazing day here, because these 2 outposts inside of your base, it's something you do not want. It's so difficult to deal with here. Ooh, Demo Trap almost kills his outpost, but he does time it just right.
He's disrupted the mining, he's killed a number of the workers, and he's trying desperately to get the supply stash. I think Size will be able to save it as the quads step forward, the Toxin Tractor as well. 1 quad goes down, just adding insult to injury as these slow listening outposts make their way further north.
So yeah, even though Size has saved that supply in the bottom right, push them outposts away, still in the middle. ExCal's pushing forward because he's taken no economic damage. That TNT failed earlier, which allowed him to pump out all of these outposts, looking very, very bad for Size. And I wouldn't be surprised if this frustrates him as well. He was already frustrated the previous game. GG after 4 minutes.
Yep. And that puts ExCaL within match point for this series, a best of 15, and Size has taken a couple of games, but ExCaL has just been dominating overall. So we have one more match to get to, and if Size wins it, he has a long road to go to win the challenge.
So yeah, it's another interestingly balanced matchup, I would say. I think if you can do the damage early, Demo has a chance. But if in last like the first few minutes start taking any damage, like we saw there, Infantry can just push through the middle. It is open middle, so it is easy to push. And yeah, once he gets to your arms dealer, that's basically GG. So Size is a beast with Infantry. He's just wrote me a message in the game saying not my day. So we'll see if he's able to redeem himself here.
That's fair. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's Size's day, but now I guess we'll swap again. So we got another Tournament Desert game to check out.
Yep, exactly. Oh, can you not join the game? Is it full still?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, try now.
All right, there we go.
Sorry, I forgot about that for a second. Okay, TD open, middle, no cars. There we go.
So it's up to Size to win this game and then 5 more after that in a row without dropping a single map to ExCaL. And I mean, on a different day, maybe Size in feeling a little bit better, then maybe that would be possible. But right now, today, it feels impossible for Size to win 5 games in a row.
I mean, yeah, I believe in competitive games. Not just in RTS, but in FPS games, CSGO, I don't know about Dota and all the other games. Well, in sports in general, I believe a lot of it is mental, and once you get that momentum going, I believe it is possible, and things can flip. I've seen Counter-Strike games go from 14-0 to 14-14 before, for example. I believe a lot of it is about mental momentum, so can Size flip this one on its head and then try and get that momentum himself and come back? Let's see.
All right, so we are back on Tournament Desert and in the north as the Blue China Infantry with a monumental task in front of him. This is Big Size.
Down in the south of Tournament Desert, we have ExCaL, and he is playing with the GLA Demolition in the purple color.
All right, the last game, lots of frustrating things happening to Size, but can he kind of turn the frustration around on his opponent? Maybe 2 or 3 games in a row, he's been having some difficult things that he's had to deal with against ExCaL, so hopefully he can start to bring the frustration against ExCaL. Now, right out of the gate, Size, should we expect to see that kind of, I guess no truck rush because he went for supplies in the corners? You only do the truck rush when you get the supply in the middle?
Yeah, correct. If you want to do the truck rush as fast as possible, you will do it in the middle. You sometimes can still do it the way he's doing it now. On the left side, you will just scout for an aggressive worker on that left side in like the little jungle where all the trees are. But Size just looks like he's playing this pretty standard and safe. He'll drop down a bunker on that left side, which will pretty much seal it off. And then he'll try and get the critical massive outpost out and push like ExCaL did. But yeah, just a slight variation in the building's position.
All right, so Size, as we've kind of mentioned, has quite a task ahead of him. His war factory, his barracks up and running on the right side of the map. He's starting to move towards the middle, and we'll have to see if his efficiency can take a big jump up. Most of the games in this series, ExCaL has been the more efficient one. Size has made some good strategic moves, but ExCaL has almost always been winning the individual battles. So that desperately needs to change for Size in this game and in this series.
So ExCaL with the first attack here, he did something really smart, which was actually force-fired the ground with the RPG to figure out if there was mines there or not. Once he saw it was clear, then he went with the terrorist.
Nice. Is this? Okay, I guess it's not over. He gets the power plant back up. The dozer dies within like a second of that power plant finishing. And then I guess a truck is going to go down as well. This is just... Oh no, the truck survives just barely as the technical steps on some mines. This is already feeling like ExCaL is ahead.
He's definitely leading the game, but that could have gone a lot worse for Size. If Size's power plant had finished on 98 or 99% and had to rebuild it again, that probably would have been GG, because he'd been set back so much, he would have to rebuild it with the other dozer. But the fact that this truck survived and the power plant finished, I wouldn't count him out just yet, because he's only lost 1 power plant and 1 dozer so far. So yeah, still with a fighting chance.
First listening outpost making its way through the map. A dragon tank on the right side as well. So 2 potential opportunities for Size to do some damage against ExCaL. And this is the first time that Size has really gotten onto ExCal's side of the map this game. We'll have to see if he's actually able to do anything. Right now he's just hanging out near the middle. Loses the listening outpost. And the quads pop, kill everything. So...
yeah, that outpost, it was a bit stuck for where it could go. It was surrounded by tunnels and buildings, but definitely engaging that worker to stop the tunnel from finishing probably wasn't the right choice, because he has paid the price, lost all of the stuff inside. But big push now from ExCaL down the middle. Going to lose some quads though, but a technical has snuck past. My guess is going to be looking for that dozer hunt.
He's going to drive directly over the mines once again and loses the technical. It looks like 1 RPG trooper did survive, but he's kind of caught behind enemy lines and should be dealt with very quickly there.
So yeah, the fact that there was 2 RPGs inside of there, that tells me he is going for the dozer hunt. I mean, ExCaL is his main strength. You'll find them dozers no matter where you're hiding them. But yeah, Sai's doing a good job, and he is pushing forward now, pushing ExCaL back for once, so which is the tunnel in the middle will go down. There's a couple of terrorists chasing these away, but the minigunner evacs out and guns them down. Gains some veterancy. And another terrorist going to go down, and the barracks. So yeah, not looking that great for ExCaL. Not as strong as the previous games.
A couple of RPG troopers waddling their way towards the middle of the map, and I mean, for now the outpost can just rotate around. This is, I guess ExCaL is kind of struggling to deal with this quickly. He does have a lot of quads waiting for these outposts.
Yeah, Size was really smart. He kept that minigunner outside of his outpost to take out them RPGs from behind. Because if he got sandwiched in, that would have been very bad news. But now he's able to go over to this right side and probably deny this supply. I'm going to say he's got the advantage here, actually.
Dragon tank trying to clear out the middle of the map, while, as you mentioned, the supply on the right side of the map getting sniped as well. So Size, this is the kind of mental wins, the kind of momentum that he needs for this series. So yeah, even saves the heroic minigunner. He saves it from the quads.
Is he going to put it back inside of the outpost? Ooh, he's going to engage the tunnel here, but he's going to lose the outpost, at least one of them. And because he didn't evac in time, all of you guys inside, they suffer 50% damage, and also they mess up a little bit. So yeah, losses on both sides here. A lot of quads, but also a lot of infantry.
Yeah, that entire strike force goes down. Now on the left side, we do have 2 more listening outposts. They don't have the veterancy, they don't have the positioning advantage that the other ones did, but they are starting to make some damage happen, and I mean, maybe they'll even take down the oil derrick.
So yeah, it definitely looks like the oil derrick will go down, but like I said before, Size is a bit of a greedy player. He'll sometimes want to capture the oil for himself, but I think he is trying to attack it, but sometimes the outpost does bug out and actually not attacks. But he's clicked it again, and now he's killing it. The quads are coming to try and push that away. Meanwhile, attack on the right side.
Yeah, the listening outposts, 3 of them over here on the right side, gonna try and, I guess, do something against that tunnel. Oil derrick still not down, but it's almost been eliminated. The quads never journeying north, and finally the palace has finished up for ExCaL. So has he just been trying to buy time, waiting for that palace to finish?
So I think he's just doing whatever he can at the moment, just trying to push ExCaL back. Whilst he had ExCaL distracted with that supply at the bottom right that he killed, he's actually managed to gain control of the flanks. And the most important thing here is Size has got 1467 XP. He needs 1 more kill to get to level 3, which means carpet bomb and artillery. And that is going to cause some damage to ExCaL's base.
And there we go, he's level 3. One listening outpost does go down. All of the tank hunters inside get eliminated, and the quad cannons stepping forward to try and hunt down that last outpost, but it will be able to escape. And like we saw in some of those previous games where ExCaL was just dominating size, but in this case, size 2 general ranks above. Eco doing okay, Carpet Bomb calling in, and his listening outposts are finding their marks.
Yeah, this is really smart from size as well, because a lot of players, when they get to level 3, will fire the artillery and the carpet at exactly the same time. And then the professional other player will pop out all of his quads and stop the carpet bomb. But he deliberately waited until the carpet was definitely going to hit and then shot the artillery. So ExCaL wasn't notified that he was level 3.
That's great. And in that case, he gets the palace, he gets the tunnel as well. The listening outpost does manage to snipe the terrorist as well. JarminKel steps forward, gets a couple of kills. But this listening outpost this attack has done some pretty good damage already. Is this enough for size?
I think it might be. I do think size making a mistake, maybe going MiGs, because all that ExCaL has is anti-air, which is quads. But I mean, size is the boss, size is the king. He knows how to play infantry. So if he gets a lucky hit or a decent hit on these quads, he can maybe take out the Jarman as well. MiGs now coming in.
Trying to clear this tunnel being constructed, and I don't know what they got over on the left side. I did miss that, but they also get some of the workers going for the supply.
So yeah, he picks up a couple of workers on the supply, but I think the main thing that went down on the left was actually a demo bike. So yeah, ExCal's in a difficult situation now because size, as you can see, the amount of blue in the middle of the map, size does have control in the middle, and he's expanding to another supply in the middle. So he's going to be on 4 supplies. Actually, it'll be 3 supplies because his top left one has just mined out at exactly the same amount of time.
So he's replacing that 3 supply economy, and he's doing a great job of keeping ExCaL on ExCal's side of the map. Typically, your GLA player wants to be more mobile, more active, and sometimes your GLA player is just hitting wherever the other player is not. But here, size has been doing such a good job of controlling the flow of the game that ExCaL has never had that opportunity.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation as the GLA player now because your vision is really limited. Unless you've got tunnels and RPGs on the edge of your base, like RPGs give such a big vision. So he can't really see much of the middle now. He doesn't know that size has expanded. He's only just seen that bunker that's down. Got an outpost from size denying this more forward tunnel from ExCaL on the right. These terrorists are sneaking by on the right side. You see that?
Yeah, they're just slowly walking their way past the listening outpost. Do detonate there. There are a couple more terrorists making their way up the right side of the map. I guess this last one will be hunted down by size.
Yeah, those terrorists proving annoying. Did manage to take out everything inside of that outpost in the end. But size now on almost 6k. He's just spent a little bit of it. He's got a full airfield of napalm MiGs. He's got more outposts. It looks like a pretty straightforward win for size from here. ExCal's going to mine out on his bottom right supply very, very soon.
So yeah, ExCal still with a huge score advantage, but this is the kind of game that size needs to be playing to be able to come back in this series. I do also love that size managed to grab the bunker next to that oil on the left side of the map that he took out. So he's just like, he may have taken out the oil, but he's got the bunker there just to keep eyes on that section of the map. Carpet Bomb and the MiGs joining together to get the kill on the supply, and that was another great strike by size.
Yeah, it was a very decent hit. Size also microed his MiGs then further to the right side, so they didn't get gunned down by these sneaky quads from ExCaL that was trying to snipe out their MiGs. Yeah, looking very, very good for size. He's almost on 10k now, floating a little bit of cash, like I talked about earlier. ExCaL pushing forward with this toxin tractor, clears out the building, but one unit does evac and goes back in and dies again.
So he did evac, which seemed like the right move, but then he immediately went back in the building and just instantly died. Cluster mine gets dropped almost on top of the quads, but it doesn't quite hit them, so the worker will be able to clear that out. Toxin tractor gets eliminated. I think that was the MiG that got the kill there. And, well, ExCaL has rebuilt his supply in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Only 3 grand left in that supply dock, but he's staying alive on his 2 supplies this time.
Yeah, it's an annoying amount of supplies to have left, because if you've only got 3k, The supply itself costs 1,500, so straight away that's half of it gone. And then you make a couple of workers, that's like an extra 200 or 400, and straight away you're eating into that profit. So yeah, you won't make more than 2 workers there, I think.
Yeah. A couple of terrorists on bikes. They do manage to clean out one listening outpost, and all of the tank hunters just jump inside of that building nearby. But the toxin tractor does manage to do some damage. I guess it didn't actually kill off all of the stuff inside of the building, though.
Yeah, it's always interesting that, because it seems to kill them in like in order. Like they kill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way up to, in the building holds 10. It doesn't kill them all instantly. So
okay.
yeah, I think a few of the units inside died, but there's obviously still a hell of a lot of missile defenders still inside of there.
Yeah. Artillery strike going to be coming down, I think, on top of the supply in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Should get all of the workers as well, of course. The tunnel does survive, but that'll kind of slow down the economy of ExCaL even more.
So yeah, size is on like 12k. He's definitely looking like he's going to win this game. He's making an internet sensor and hackers. It's probably the only China I would recommend making hackers is infantry, because they're invisible and they hack faster, they're cheaper. The other China is not necessarily so much, but I think it's confident to say size is going to take this game.
Carpet bomb coming in on top of the arms dealer, on top of the supply. He gets the kill on both, and ExCaL goes down to the MiGs as well. Everything coming up size here in game number 100. I don't remember what number this is.
We're in game number 9. We were only talking the other day, actually, how about in 0 Hour now we do have best of 13s and best of 15s. Like, if you go back a few years, it always was best of 3s, then we went to best of 5s, then best of 7s. It's slowly been creeping up, all the way now to best of 15s.
Yeah, I feel like most other competitive games have kind of settled around either like best of 5, best of 7, sometimes best of 9, but then, yeah, there are some outliers. As you mentioned, when I was watching CSGO for like one of the first times, I didn't realize that they play like 30 matches or something, or like 28 matches, and it's like, it's so many in comparison to some of these other games. Yeah, Terrorist on the right side gets a dragon tank, and these quads jumping on the other dragon.
Interestingly, ExCal's still in the game. A few people in the stream chat saying, I can't believe ExCal's even still playing. But then someone quite rightly pointed out that he's making size work for the win. So while size is way ahead here, and a lot of people would have quit already as the GLA, I do believe a lot of it is the mental game, and making someone work really hard for their wins can be mentally draining and could come back to help ExCal later on.
Yeah, the other thing is, I guess if ExCal gets like the craziest win right here, then it's over, and then yeah, the advantage of making size, never mind, there's the GG.
There is the GG.
But yeah, making size play an extra 5 minutes longer than he really needs to get the win is mentally defeating. So, you know, if ExCal feels like it's worth it, then it's worth it, but he's still in a match point position. He just needs to get one more win to win the challenge.
That is true. I forget now whose choice it is. I think it was ExCal's pick then, so it should be Big Size's choice now. Maybe that's his opportunity to pick something he's strong at and win both ways, because he definitely needs to win the next 4 just to get an equalizer.
Yeah, but the comeback has started. I guess, yeah, if we want to see that final match, then it's going to be 4 more wins in a row for size. Yeah,
we do love a decider. We do love one. Like to see edge of your seat stuff all the way down to the wire. But yeah, size, like you said, got a mammoth task here. Is he going to be able to do it? Here's a map for you.
Are we on Small Town USA? Plant waste.
I don't know.
What you call it?
Don't know why I think it was the Russian community. I think it was a guy called Spekovic. Shout out to Spekovic who made this. But yeah, I don't know why he renamed it to Plant Waste. Should have called it Small Town USA Remake maybe. But it's definitely based on that map that you know.
Yeah, okay. So there are a couple of maps that that we've seen today that are basically 1-for-1. This actually looks like it has some tech stuff in the middle of the map that's not there on Small Town USA, but other than that, it's like a 1-for-1 of Small Town. So Jungle Wolf is the map.
Jungle Wolf, a very beautiful map. I like this map. I love the green color that we've got. and interesting parts in the middle because you've got the supply in the bottom left, supply in the bottom right, which are obviously important, but then you've also got all these tech buildings in the middle that you'll see. So yeah, very all important areas to take, but which ones do you want to put all your effort into? Let's see.
Does this map split pretty easily? So like the player in the north gets all the stuff in the north and the player in the south gets all the stuff in the south?
Not always. Sometimes that can happen. But I mean, Size is playing with GLA here. GLA is pretty good, as you know, at taking over all the maps. So Size may well get the top and the bottom, but concede the middle. Usually you either go for the supplies or you go for the mid, not like kind of in between. That's what I'm used to, but we'll see what's going to happen here. So I'll introduce Big Size. We've got him playing as the stealth, and he is in the blue color, top left of Jungle Wolf.
And playing as the China in the bottom right as the purple, it's ExCaL. Is he nuke? I already forgot.
Yeah, he is nuke. We've got a nuke versus stealth. Size's pick. Okay. So usually he always kind of picks a GLA versus nuke. It's one of his picks. So he must be confident and enjoy to play this. But ExCaL's going for that famous truck rush that he's ever so known for. Once again, Size is sending a terrorist there this time, though, so prepared for it.
Terrorist should be able to catch this truck as it kind of goes around this cliff. Oh, he may have actually cut a little bit too wide, so the truck is going to scoot right past. I guess the hope is that you can pull your workers around, and then he's actually running towards the tunnel. Can he get there in time? He does get there with all but 2 of the workers. The tunnel going to try and get the kill on the truck, but the truck does escape for now. The RPG's almost getting the kill, but goodbye, truck. 2 workers down. Is that really worth it for ExCaL?
Well, the truck is worth $600. The workers are cost $200 each, so far he's still negative $200. But the workers did have to be pulled. It requires micro time away from Size about what else he would be doing out on the map. And it's also still keeping Size even busy now. So I would say yes, worth it, because it then allows the nuke to kind of control the game and allow him to do what he wants to do now.
Get $66 back in the cash back from the scrap, so that is something that's nice for Size in that case. ExCaL expanding down to the bottom left-hand corner, so he's up to 3 supply economy by basically the 2-minute mark. And then he's got his War Factory up and running. Does have a Battlemaster running around the map, trying to stop this technical here in the south.
Yeah, technical goes down without achieving anything. But like you said, ExCaL with that truck rush kept Size busy and used that time to then expand to this bottom left side and get 3 supplies now. It's going to be 3 supplies versus 2. It's like a 50% advantage. You do not want to be taking that against a player like ExCaL. ExCaL is going to have a huge advantage in the next few minutes.
Yeah, you don't want to be taking that kind of disadvantage versus ExCaL, but also when you're in a best of 15 and he is at match point. So a great opening here for ExCaL, even if that truck wasn't like exactly cost effective, as you mentioned. The just space that it buys him within the flow of the game to take this 3rd supply, to get the Gatling cannon up, like all of this is just so great. 2 Battlemasters through the middle of the map, hunting that technical, but are they actually going to get the kill? And then after that, where are they going after they go for that technical?
The annoying thing about these Battlemasters is that ExCaL could just literally click where the workers are collecting, and most of the time it will probably get there and kill some workers. Okay, that one does get denied, but the other one is going to get in and kill probably all of Size's workers. So Size's economy here is once again going to be way behind.
The workers actually all juke around the building. I don't know if ExCaL wasn't paying attention, but his tank is just sitting there. He's denying the mining, but he's not getting the kill on the workers, and that's 1,200 credits of workers that would have to be reconstructed. So I guess this is not as bad as it could be, but still definitely not good for Size.
Yeah, because Size is not collecting any supplies there at the moment. So yeah, his economy still 50% behind ExCal's, but ExCaL is now on a propaganda center, still collecting on the 3 supplies. He's got his Lotus out. Size has captured 1 oil with one of his rebels.
And I guess this other oil is going to go to ExCaL, but Size does have the bunker and the tunnel right next to that oil, so I don't know how long that oil is really going to be under ExCal's control. Overlord tank, the GAT, and the outpost do strike down that tunnel, and this is a tough army for... Black Lotus just got sniped by a technical!
Yeah, that's a rare sight. Very, very nice pick there with the technical. But the Lotus did capture the all in time, so that's the main thing. ExCaL can remake the Lotus.
Ooh, the ECM shuts down the technical, but it does barely manage to escape. All of the RPG troopers go down to the Nuke Battlemaster, and the rest of this stuff from Size is desperately trying to eliminate ExCaL's forces.
The hijacker has actually stolen the Overlord.
Yeah, I completely missed that until just before you said it, but wow, that Overlord jumping inside of the tunnel and disappearing. Size with the big moves here in these last two games, even denies the tunnel way over there on the right side of the map with the ECM. Size is starting to make it happen after a rocky start to game number 101.
Yes, Size really needs to get that supply in the top right. The fact that his worker was just crushed by the ECM and he still doesn't have that supply, it's just putting him behind. But the consolation prize is he does have this Overlord, and he's going to be able to combat this Gatling defense down the bottom left that ExCaL wasn't prepared for. He didn't expect to lose an Overlord to a hijacker.
It's just so amazing. The Dozer here as well, going to be going down to these quads as the Gatling goes down, and this entire bottom left-hand corner of the map. What can ExCaL even do to save this?
I don't think he can, to be honest. I think he is going to lose that area. He needs to sell the buildings because he's just giving free XP to Size. Size already way ahead in terms of XP. It was looking so good for ExCaL before, but that Overlord takeover with the hijacker was just legendary. Size has definitely got himself right back in this. He's not dropping down a palace, though, which... Oh, he is, as I say that, actually. Because he needs the Jean Kel to fight the rest of the Overlords.
So the supply goes down, the trucks may actually escape, but as you mentioned, the experience difference between these two players, it's just grown to triple for Size. He's up to that General 2 rank at 1,300, and ExCaL is kind of floundering here, but I guess his ExCaL's method is slow and steady, and he's going to try and start to claw his way back.
Yeah, well, for me, it really looked like ExCaL was way ahead. Like we talked about that fast third supply you said he had after 2 or 3 minutes. So I think slow and methodical was the correct way, but it was literally that Overlord capture with the hijacker just turned the game on his head. And then now ExCaL is still fighting to be in this game. He's dropped down a new CC on his little cluster SimCity base on the far right side, if you can see that.
A couple of ECMs on the left side going down to the quad pop as they were trying to chase down the Overlord. Also, yeah, on the right side, Black Lotus went down to a couple of quads. So ExCaL losing just so much, but as you mentioned, he's got his CC back up and running. And yeah, this is quite a tight cluster of buildings for a Generals game.
Yeah, ExCal's still clearing out tunnels in the middle now. ExCal's behind in XP, but for every tunnel you kill, I think you get around 100 XP. So if he kills 6 or 7 more, it's going to be getting that level 3, and that carpet for Nuke is a lot more powerful, as I'm sure you know. Mind the artillery. Got a big push from Size with the quads on the top right of the map. It's going to force ExCaL now to go back with his Overlords, going back, see if he can defend this.
Another Black Lotus has been constructed, trying to take one of these artillery platforms as the Overlords and the GATs, the ECMs, everything cuts back to the right side of the map. The quad's pushing down slowly but surely. I don't know that they're going to be able to stick around for too much longer now that this army is here.
So Size does want to be careful here. He doesn't lose too much because he's going to lose his engagement now. He just needs to run away, put all of his stuff inside of that tunnel, and how ridiculous it's going to look when the Overlord actually goes inside of the tunnel as well. But yeah, he's losing a lot of quads here for nothing. He might pick off 1 ECM, but he's given ExCaL all that experience points, and when that carpet and artillery does fire, Size will regret throwing away them units.
The quads felt like a bit of an overcommitment there, as I thought maybe he was keeping some of them around so that the Overlord could escape. But the Overlord was long gone, and the quads were still just sitting there trading blows with a far superior army. And ExCaL, I mean, he gets some more small victories, so ExCaL feeling very ahead in the early part of the game, and then Size coming back to be ahead, it felt like, for the last couple of minutes. But now, slow and steady, it feels like ExCaL is just clawing his way back into this game.
Yeah, but Size, another reason why these are 2 of the best players to whoever plays 0 hour is they know when to take a fight and when not to take a fight. So Sai's lost the engagement and is losing the position at the top right, but straight away he's counterattacked again and cleared the bottom left once again. He killed a load of trucks and he's expanding to that supply, so he's always going to try and keep himself on 3 supplies. He's still got both of the oils in the middle. Meanwhile, Lotus has lost control, apart from 1 artillery platform she's captured on the left side.
I think the Black Lotus also just shut down Size's Overlord tank there near the base of ExCaL. And ExCaL gonna get the kill on the Overlord, and goodbye, Overlord. Yeah, the artillery platform was claimed by Size, but was that another hijacker grabbing a tank?
So what happened there was DoMiNaToR sniped one of the Overlords, and then the Rebel ambush was used directly on top of it to circle Overlord, yeah.
So Size doing what he can to try and claw his way kind of back into this game, as ExCaL has been taking back control of it. Size up to general level 4, but the difference in experience is so much closer. Another great DoMiNaToR snipe on an Overlord by Size, but he doesn't have anything nearby to take control of it. Oh, another hijacker coming in.
It's kind of like whack-a-mole for ExCaL against the GLA stuff, because he clears one area, but meanwhile he concedes the other area. So now he's going to have to go back and defend his base once again, because Size is attacking with these 2 super techs that he's got. And then no doubt Size is going to counterattack somewhere else. Meanwhile, the carpet and artillery does come through, wrecks Size's base. The supply and the arms dealer going down.
1 black market coming up for Size. I don't think he's got any more. He actually does have 2 under construction, but I don't think he has any finished. So he's starting to get that late game economy up and running. Got a couple of technicals and a quad going to be hitting a war factory. They're going to be trading out against a GAT, and it looks like the reinforcements from ExCaL should clean this up.
So yes, ExCaL did take some damage there. He lost the war factory, lost a few battle masters. No real massive damage though, but once again, like we said, this whack-a-mole game. Size has got a new tunnel at the top right, clearing out that supply instantly from ExCaL. Size is playing like a bit of a beast here. Maybe the comeback is real after all.
Size just carving a way through in this game, or trying to. Looks like he's going to be losing this oil maybe in the middle of the map. He's just taking, or ExCaL, excuse me, is taking just damage from these artillery platforms. The Overlord's just taking shots from them, but healing up as Black Lotus is looking to capture the artillery platforms. Another snipe from DoMiNaToR, but no actual rebels to jump inside of that Overlord.
But Size once again with this same quad attack that we saw just a few minutes earlier. He's coming in with that again, and now taking out the supply of ExCaL. Still like 2 or 3k left to collect there. He might even lose the propaganda center if he's not quick. He is coming back with his Overlords to rush back. But I really feel like this is slipping in Size's favor, because that DoMiNaToR is able just to snipe the Overlords over and over again. We do see a rare unit that you don't normally see. A Saboteur has been produced by Size. It's now in the middle. You can see it running pretty quick through the mid.
The quads keep doing more and more damage, but the Overlord tanks trying to close the distance to finish them off. This entire army, as you mentioned, going down, but it's been so useful. And like you said, in both the top right and the bottom left, Size has been harvesting away at those locations for a couple of minutes as he pushes ExCaL out. And I'm guessing that hijacker grabbed another Overlord?
Well, there's a hijacker in the middle, but I'm more interested where this Saboteur is going. You see the Saboteur next to the War Factory? You rarely see that. I mean, I haven't seen that in probably the last 50 games I've commentated on. So, yeah, I'm interested where that's going to go. It can go in the power, disrupt the power. It can go in the CC. I don't know if it disables the CC or... Does it disable the CC? Or reset all the support powers? That's a legendary move from Size. Extremely rare.
Huh. So he just did something significant there. Now back in the top right-hand corner of the map, the Overlords striking down this supply stash, and they're going to get that. The workers as well going to go down, but Size has been doing pretty well. Like, he's been floating 10k for a while. He's spent a bunch of that, and now he's back up almost to 10k for a couple of moments there. So he's doing okay in the cash department. He definitely needs to spend a little more of it.
Yeah, Size on 2k now, but interestingly, again, he's carrying on with these hijackers. He's got 1 hijacker chilling in the middle, and he's got another 2 hijackers inside of ExCal's base. I think he's going to try and get these Overlords whilst they're out of position. Maybe coming from behind with the hijacker?
He's trying all of the sneaky tactics that he possibly can. The much better army of Size just has been avoided, or the much better army of ExCaL, excuse me, has been avoided by Size. And this is so funny seeing an Overlord tank chase down a Gatling tank like that. But the Overlord may be getting caught as Size is diving deep into enemy territory.
Yeah, this Overlord is on a suicide mission, I think. I'll be surprised if it escapes. I mean, it's got a chance, but ExCal's splitting up his army just in case it does. But there's hijackers everywhere now. One camping outside the war factory, and one has just narrowly missed getting crushed by them two Overlords, which I think they're both going to get captured.
Yeah, once again, Size with the kill of the supply in the top right-hand corner. ExCaL keeps taking these supplies in the corner, but Size holds them for so much longer than ExCaL does. They've been trading places with these supplies, but I feel like Size has been the one actually harvesting most of those resources.
So yeah, very interesting chase going on now. The hijacker is trying to get inside of the Overlords, but the outpost is chasing the hijacker. Is ExCaL paying attention? He's not. And another hijacker has got another Overlord.
The ECM going to try and lock down the Overlord, but I think the Overlord barely kills it. No, he doesn't. The ECM does lock that down. The Rebels jump on top of the ECM, and the ECM actually runs a number of them over. Is there a Jarman Kell nearby? No. So these Rebels are just here to try and kill off the ECM and the tanks, but they do go down. Quads in the middle of the map looking for another target. They're going to take down the oils of ExCaL to try and deny that economy even more. He's got $3 grand in the bank, but Size is trying to stop him from getting a single dollar more.
This has turned out to be a really amazing game. That the Rebel ambush from Size, that was a very big waste in my view, because it didn't even kill the ECM in the end anyway. He needs to combine that, like you said, with the Jarman Kell.
Another hijacker grabs another Overlord in the middle, kind of south of the map. Jarman Kell sniped an Overlord, taking it out of the fight for a minute or two, and then another Overlord gets sniped, but it's low on health. There are minigunners nearby, or I guess a rocket trooper nearby, for ExCaL to try and grab that tank back, but it's going to trade out. That's a double vet Overlord for Size, and he gets the kill on the tank hunter as well.
Yeah, legendary play there by Size, but more importantly as well, ExCal's losing his base. He's down to his CC, which was going down. Carpet Bomb comes in, takes out a number of quads. But the CC's still taking damage, and the sneak attack is there as well.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Size in this game, picking ExCaL apart after ExCaL was providing so many problems. GG gets called, and you talk about the mentality of the players, about ExCaL winning all of those games early on, but now Size frustrating ExCaL. ExCaL has been on match point for like 3 games in a row now, and he has been unable to close out this series that looked like it was his. Size with the comeback.
That was a true beast of a game, because after like 2 or 3 minutes there, ExCaL was straight away. He had the higher supply count. He established that little fortification base down the bottom left where he had the CC and them Gatlins. He even had Battlemasters inside of Size's worker line, stopping Size collecting, but still Size found a way to win. I think it was the hijacker taking the first Overlord which turned it, but yeah, legendary play there from Big Size.
That was truly one of those games that feels back and forth. Like, Size was playing great, ExCaL was playing great, and definitely the last 5 minutes, Size was outplaying ExCaL, but throughout the rest of that game, it was so close, the back and forth. ExCaL opened in an excellent fashion, and then Size started taking control of the game, but then ExCaL reestablished his dominance, only for Size to ultimately take it back. And that is the kind of stuff that, like, those type of plays in the bigger esports, in the bigger competitive RTS games, you don't see that kind of stuff. The kind of weirdness that Command and Conquer is, it's a little bit of a less quote-unquote serious strategy game, but the kind of weirdness that leads to those sort of situations, you just don't see in any other competitive game, I feel like. But yeah, that game, a phenomenal showcase of what can be done with like the creativity of never giving up. Because Size didn't have the better army most of that game. He didn't have the better position most of that game. And yet he just played better. He played smarter, really. and
Yeah.
ExCaL paid the price.
He did play it like a true stealth. He wasn't ever... He did sometimes take the head-on engagements and lost a bunch of quads. But he was playing it like a true stealth general with the hijackers, with the saboteur, with the sneaky tunnels. Really, really top-level stealth.
But now we get to see the reverse. So if Size is going to lose, this might be a frustrating one for him to lose, playing against stealth if ExCaL pulls the same kind of shenanigans that we just saw Size pull.
Yeah, looking forward to the reverse. I mean, Size picked this matchup, so he must have been confident that he could win both ways. How is he going to play it different? Is he going to go for that fast third supply like we saw ExCaL do? Is he going to be more cautious against the hijackers? Let's see. We did have a few donations last match. I need to say a shout out to Lil9, Nick Master, and Canada Streets. Thank you so much for the donations. Much appreciated. And Lil9 says, thanks so much for the stream, guys. And Nick Master says, ExCaL is Smeagol. A few people are saying this, and I don't actually know what it means. Smeagol or Smeagol? Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, but Smeagol, I don't know who that is.
Oh, yeah, I was like, is that just an alternate ID that he goes with?
Could potentially be.
Is that what the holdup is?
Oh, they needed to sort out the spots.
Oh, okay.
Could have ended up in a rematch, but yeah, he left the game in time.
ExCaL is Smeagol. Maybe it's because he has the ring in his hands, but it's slipping through his fingers as Size takes it away from him.
Like, could be. Very good analogy. Like you're thinking.
I'm making stuff up at this point.
So we're back with the reverse stealth versus Nuke on Jungle Wolf. In the top left, we have the stealth general in the purple color, which is ExCaL.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, the blue China Nuke. This is Size. I don't know what the map score is. I know that ExCaL is still ahead with like 7 wins or something, and he's desperately trying to close it out, but Size has made this such a phenomenal series. I mean, yeah, ExCaL is playing good and all that, but Size has stopped this from being a one-sided slap fest into a real series that I feel like this is a more epic than normal kind of series. I don't know, maybe you guys in Zero Hour just have amazing challenges like this all the time, but this feels especially epic, this series.
Yeah, especially if Size amounts to come back here and we end up going to a decider, that will be a super special one. As of the last few challenges we've casted and streamed, we have seen a number of ones go to a decider, but yeah, rarely do we see such an epic comeback. And maybe let's not talk about it too much. Let Size kick things in. But I think we are going to see Battle of the Minds here, because ExCaL must be thinking, hang on a minute, I was doing really well before, now Size is catching it back. Don't tell me he's going to do a comeback. So yeah, we'll see if ExCaL can re-establish his dominance.
No, I still think ExCaL will win the series overall, but I feel like Size's performance in the last 2 or 3 games has just been amazing. Like, the first couple of games, it was sort of so-so. Terrorist coming in on the right side of the map, trying to go for the trucks. He's going to settle for the Dragon Tank, and he gets it. He gets the guaranteed damage rather than trying to continue to pursue the trucks. But yeah, anyways, I would feel like Size's performance has just been phenomenal these last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, maybe like I said earlier, sometimes he doesn't warm up. Maybe that is coming into effect now. Maybe after a few hours he's getting warm, but he's going to lose 2 more trucks. Oh.
Perfect!
That's huge. That is huge. Probably cost him the game. But ExCaL is not collecting on his main supply, but there is a hijacker once again. Seeing them make an
my
appearance.
gosh, he gets it. Yeah, that hijacker. So into the tunnel go all of the workers. They were safe, but as you mentioned, they were denied the mining there. In the north, Battlemaster going for the crush, gets 3-4 workers maybe, as it's going to be a Battlemaster duel between these two guys. And I guess Size is just hoping to kill off the last worker. Yeah, he gets him.
Yeah, we're seeing a major variation here from ExCaL. He hasn't done an arms dealer, actually. He's just gone for 2 barracks. He's spamming hijackers and gone for the oils, and of which he has got both of the oils he set out to get. So whilst he lost maybe a couple of workers or a bit of mining time, getting both of them oils is absolutely huge. So the pressure is definitely on Size here, especially after losing them 2 trucks and now having to deal with this bunker in his base.
Yeah, ExCaL feeling so good in this opening. Now, that was how the last game started as well. ExCaL was looking really good, and then Size did manage to bring it back. Size defending with the Dragon Tank, still loses the outpost, which really sucks on top of all of the other stuff that he's lost this game.
So yeah, Sai's still got both of his dozers. He's got mines on his supplies, but meanwhile, ExCaL is just doing exactly what GLA does best and taking over the entire map. He's got 2 oils. He's got the fortifications in the middle. He's getting these towers in the middle as well, the artillery platforms. Now dropping down an arms dealer. Everything so far is going ExCaL's way, so it's about what Sai can do now to try and get himself back in the game.
Battlemaster bypasses the tunnel. It's at 98% complete after he killed off the worker. And this Battlemaster is going to get grabbed by a hijacker, and yep, ExCaL gets it. The angle looked like it might slip by, but nope, the Battlemaster fell to ExCaL.
Yeah, and every time you hear that, my vehicle has been stolen. It's such an annoying sound. But yeah, this Battlemaster even coming in now and causing damage to the further Battlemasters. It does delay Sai. Sai is known to stay on 2 war factories and spam load more tier 1 units rather than that fast propaganda we saw from ExCaL before. So he's going to be wanting to try and spam more of them units and take back some of this map control.
And so far, he's doing an okay job. I feel like he really does need to focus on not dying to hijackers, because that was a great part of Sai's strategy in the last game, and ExCaL is doing it to him. And I honestly expected Sai to be playing a little bit more cautiously because of those hijackers. By the way, Sai loses 2 more Battlemasters in the middle of the map.
So yeah, I mean, Sai has been spamming consistently out those 2 war factories, but still only has like 3 or 4 Battlemasters out on the field. They keep getting captured or destroyed by garrisons. ExCaL's playing this exactly like he needs to. He's got so many RPGs, some of them vetted as well inside that tunnel. He's dropping down loads of stinger sites at the top right. So yeah, looking pretty bad for Sai so far.
ExCaL starting to float a decent amount of resources, but honestly, it's not because his production is necessarily bad. It's because he's got so much supply under his control. He's got his palace on the way. He's got the barracks and the war factories pumping. But yeah, ExCaL is just feeling so good this game.
Yeah, I just feel like since he keeps holding them oils, he's got tunnels in the middle, those defensive buildings. He's even got 1 artillery platform. I mean, you're just letting stealth get up to that palace tech, and when you see battle buses combined with the hijackers, that's going to be bad news for Sai. But Sai's having a bit of success down the bottom left. He has snuck some Battlemasters finally in now past the hijackers.
He does manage to get a couple of kills there, and we'll have to see if these 2 hijackers, as you mentioned, can kind of turn this from a win from Sai into a win for ExCaL, because that would be really frustrating. So far, the supply does still survive, and 1 Battlemaster going to be quickly sniped by the hijacker Battlemaster. The final Battlemaster for Sai does survive. It's double vet, and it's starting to clear out the rest of these buildings.
So yeah, there's 2 more coming in, but there's also a hijacker chasing these.
Man.
A little bit late to the party, that one, so he's going to be left chasing them.
No, they stop. Don't stop moving. Not again. Oh, come on, Sai. Losing another Battlemaster to the hijackers.
Now we've got ExCaL with the technical inside of Sai's base. So he has scouted the propaganda center. He's probably going for the doze. Like I said before, he goes for the dozer hunt quite often. I think that was Sai's. Oh, is this? No, he's still got 2 dozers. The other one for Sai is now moving to the bottom left. So Sai is pretty confident that he's going to be able to secure this area. But as I say that, another tunnel finishes.
Well, 1 Battlemaster may barely be going down there. The second one, the double vet one, does survive as Sai reinforces this area. Yeah, the dozer does kind of pull off to the side a little bit to get out of harm's way. As, yep, now finally the tunnel goes down. Sai is feeling a little bit more confident. And Sai, if he can claim this bottom left-hand corner of the map, that'll go a long way to equalizing this map.
Yeah, it will, but all this time, ever since the very beginning of this game, ExCal's still on both oils. And the biggest, baddest thing for Sai right now is the first battle bus is going to be out very soon. You can see all the RPGs inside of ExCal's base. First battle bus comes out, and that is going to be eating these Battlemasters alive. So Sai desperately needs an ECM. At least 1.
All right, battle bus into the tunnel it goes, at least in a moment here. It's kind of paused. The supply is up for Sai, so he's already harvesting from that bottom left-hand corner. But as you mentioned, it's a game of catch-up for Sai because the oils having the supplies for longer has been in ExCal's favor so much.
So yeah, Sai is moving forward with these Battlemasters into the main base, but there is a stealth palace there. as well as a battle bus, or actually 2 battle buses now. So this whole army for Size probably will go down without achieving anything, I think. Might be lucky to finish 1 tunnel or run away.
All right, the outpost is also here. 1 Battlemaster goes down. The outpost almost gets eliminated. I do like that Size took the building as well, so he can put a little bit of damage onto that palace, but I assume that's not going to accomplish very much. Size loses the outpost as well, and the rest of his army just goes back home. He sounds pretty much a full retreat.
Ooh, very, very sneaky. Look at the bottom left of the map. You see the stealth tunnel being built by the stolen dozer.
Oh my gosh. The stolen dozer, the battle bus takes out a number of Size's forces as well. I think the battle bus still at like 50% HP. Size is going to try and re-engage it. The dozer and the tunnel did go down, so ExCaL does not have that advantage, but the battle bus trades out with even more battle masters. Size is just having a tough time getting anything up and running.
And all this while, still the Oils remain. ExCaL is now on a power plant he's built at the top right of the map. Nice and safe, a nice line of defense like we saw in Snowy Drought earlier. And all of his stuff is now going to produce at twice the speed. So everything from the arms dealer, the barracks, his buildings, all going to produce at twice the previous rate. So it definitely sizes against it.
I just learned about that earlier this year. I didn't know that did that with GLA. That feels like it's a bug. That doesn't feel like that's what the developers intended.
I think it is what it's intended. Ooh, what's going on here? We've got big Size maybe disconnecting here. I think Size, fair to say he's lost. Has he lost connection? Maybe.
It would be unfortunate if his connection died just at this moment, as he is most likely almost certainly going to lose this game, but it would be unfortunate if his internet died at this moment.
Yeah, that's a bad way to end the set. I would like to see it play to the end. It certainly looks like ExCaL is going to take the win, so it seems fair to give him the win. But yeah, it would have been nice to see it to the end just to be 100% sure, because we're seeing the first Overlord out, actually. Size says hello. Yeah, that's a shame. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just hoping that. So I assume the timer on screen resets every time we connect to each other, and that's why Size is dropping, but we aren't.
Yeah, Size. If we were all dropping, or everyone was on my screen was dropping, that generally means maybe I've lost connection. That's why I just made sure you were still there. But yeah, the fact that it's only Size indicates it's probably, well, definitely him. So yeah, that's a shame to end it like that. Maybe if it was a bit closer, you could ask for a rematch, but it certainly looks like ExCal's going to win. It's mainly that power that he stole from the dozer.
Yeah. Yep. When you combine that power with all of the other stuff that's been going ExCal's way in this game, it seems unlikely that Size is going to take the win in this moment. Technically, I guess it could still happen, but yeah, that felt like ExCal's game pretty confidently.
Yeah, if it was the other way and maybe ExCal had disconnected, maybe you could justify a rematch. But the fact that it was Size losing the game, I mean, if you look at ExCal's economy, he collected like 22k more. He was on power and battle buses. Heavily looks like an ExCal win. So yeah, it's a shame to close out the set that way. But certainly does look like an ExCal victory.
Well, definitely some epic games coming out from Size. I guess in the end it was like 8-4 or 8-5 maybe in ExCal's favor. And Size putting up definitely a very good fight. But yeah, at the end there, 20,000, 30, 40,000 credits almost in the favor of ExCaL. And just more efficient trades overall for ExCaL, making great use of those hijackers, turning almost every one of Size's units against him and forcing him to kill off his own battle masters time after time after time.
Yeah, real shame to end it that way, but Size, as you can see there, if you come out of the game, you can see him typing on the chat on Game Ranger. He says, my screen froze, but it was over anyway. So I just said, yeah, it's a shame. Always a shame to end it on the disconnection screen, but still, regardless, it was a very, very decent set. Would have been absolutely legendary if Size did manage the full comeback. But sadly for him, it wasn't his day.
even though Size lost that series overall, I feel like that performance in those last 3 games totally redeemed him for the first couple of games. If he had played as well as he played in those last 3 games for the whole set, I don't think the score would have been that close, and I don't think we would have been on the decider right then. But that's how it goes.
So yeah, really, really decent set. Epic best of 15 between 2 of the best players to ever touch 0 hour, and almost had a legendary comeback, but at least we still had a good 3-hour set actually.
Yeah, good session. Thank you very much for having me, man. It was great to join you on this series. It was great to be able to jump in and watch some just incredible 0 hour gameplay.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Cheers for joining. Good to have you over here. And to anyone in the stream that's watching and wondering who this is SYBERT CNC. He casts, well, as he said before, all the CNCs, apart from one of the games I think you mentioned before, which one was Tiberian Sun, I think you haven't casted before.
I haven't done anything with Tib Sun, but since I just uploaded Red Alert 2 today, counting the remasters, I've got every game on my channel.
So yeah, if you're interested in watching some of the other CNCs, definitely recommend check it out. But occasionally he does cover 0 hour as well, and hopefully, since today, hopefully we've got him hooks in some high-level games, and we'll have him back casting again.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to jump back into some more 0 hour games.
Epic. Well, thanks for joining once again, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, talk to you later.
GG's. Well, guys, that was a shame to end it like that. Ended on a disconnection screen, not always the greatest. But we still had an epic set, and we had a co-commentator you may or may not have heard of before, SYBERT CNC. Like we said before, he does stream and cast. I think mainly cast. I don't know if he streams that much, but does stream. So it does cast other CNC games. So yeah, as you heard, he's very professional. Sadly, didn't get him to say EA to the game. Is it to the game, by the way, or is it it's the game? I actually need to Google that. I'm gonna have to Google that. EA Sports. It does say EA Sports to the game. It's in the game. Oh. It's in the game. EA Sports, it's in the game. Maybe I've been saying that wrong for a while. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed Cyber. I know a lot of positive messages in the chat. Pro Killer saying DoMiNaToR 1v1, SYBERT, TD, or Casino. I don't think he plays that much, to be honest. I don't think he'd be interested in 1v1, Casino, or TD. Yeah, maybe after a bit of training, maybe he'll be up for it. Or maybe he'll just be up for it anyway for a fun game. Casino, free-for-all could be decent. Just catching up on the chat. So yeah, final score 8-5. This was sponsored by Pret and AK Baloney. They went halves on the money to sponsor this. So a massive shout out to them. Massive thank you. Wouldn't be happening without those. And thank you to the players, and congratulations to ExCaL today. He walks home with another $50 to add to his prize pool that he has been collecting so patiently at home, by winning tournament by tournament. Yeah, super good games. So username here, custom, says it, but it's EA Sports, it's the game. Oh, okay, so I've always been saying it wrong. I thought it said to the game. Oh yeah, EA Sports Challenge Everything is what it is for 0 hour. Did it ever say to the game? Because if you type in EA Sports in Google and then type 2, it comes up to the game. So I think at one point it must have been for at least one game to the game. Mario Joss says, can I check out Generals 2 gameplay footage? Let's do it now, baby. Okay, why did Generals 2 get cancelled? Well, this is Red Tiger. I've actually watched him a few times. So this was the proposed Generals 2. Why did it fail, and what are my thoughts on it? So a few people actually played. A few people actually played the alpha. This was alpha footage. I don't know how. Oh, he's got hold of this. Saying old gameplay footage, but posted in 2010. So yeah, why does it look bad? Well, yeah, like I said, I've never played this before. A number of people did, but from when I was looking at it, well, for a start, it was a free-to-play model. You would pay to win. You would pay to win. As far as I was aware, you'd download the game for free, and whoever's paying the most money would have the best weapons and the best factions and stuff like that. That's from what I gathered. So, like... So that's like what? The supposed Chinook dropping off stuff in the supply? I mean, that could kind of work. The thing that looks a bit weird to me straight away is like the camera movement. The way you've got this cheesy general guy down here, I don't like that. And I think people are come unstuck on a game as well. Like, you kind of want it to be exactly like Zero Hour, just with better graphics. So maybe that's why they've switched over to the remasters. This supply, though. I don't like these things down here for a start. I don't like... I don't know if I like the green and the circle when it's placing. I kind of like how it is in Zero Hour, where you just place the building and you can place it anywhere. You don't have to have like a number of green squares or whatever to build it over. That's quite a nice animation of things building. I mean, just like the movement of these when they turn around and stuff, it doesn't look like it looks a lot slower than like Zero Hour. I mean, maybe that is the bad thing about why it got so much bad stick, is because people are comparing it too much to Zero Hour. You see how like this unit's moving across? It's not leaving tire tracks. It looks like it's moving really unnatural. Like when it's moving, it's even blurry when it's moving across the screen. It's leaving no tire tracks. I think that's one of the things people overlook in Zero Hour, is how things interact with the terrain and the tire tracks it leaves and stuff. It's like, where's the tire tracks? Why is that moving inside of the building? What the hell is it even doing now? Animation on this and stuff looks cool, but maybe they're changing the buildings too much. Yeah, the main thing is the movement of that. I'm not even sure what that is, by the way. I don't like this this thing down the bottom right. I kind of liked how it was before. Maybe you could shave some things off it. I don't like how this looks. It looks very like cartoony and like, I don't know, like a trading card kind of character game. It's definitely a different engine. Maybe you just have to keep the same engine, or maybe you have to replicate a similar engine, but just make it better. I don't know. Let's skip to something else. So what is that? That's probably going to be an oil derrick. So yeah, I don't like this whole UI thing down here. And I don't like this circle that appears. Like, what the hell even is that? Like in generals, you can build stuff wherever the terrain will literally allow you. You don't need this green circle to let you know, okay, the building's going to be there. You don't need the circle to say, okay, this land's okay or fertile or whatever. Making units 2 at a time and the way they're running fast just looks unnatural. The way they're just running so quick. I don't know if I like that click with the arrows going like that either. It looks like they're basically hovering. Looks like they're basically using some kind of magic to run around. Look at the way they're running. And then when they got inside of that building, they didn't literally go inside the building. They kind of get to there and just disappear. I remember looking at this a while ago, and everything I just saw about it just looked... It's completely different, man. Could you even call that generals? Like, none of this is even recognizable. you'd at least like have some kind of resemblance if you're going to call it number 2 of something. You don't see like a prequel to Star Wars and suddenly everything looks different. You've kind of still got the same characters and everything's still got the same kind of resemblance and stuff. You don't just change everything. Like, what the hell even is that? It's supposed to be a dozer. Okay, the guy's inside it. That's pretty cool. But it's just everything just looks way too different. There's no tire tracks. The way the units moving too fast and stuff, it just looks weird. Fire animation looks kind of nice. Like whatever these, just the way everything's moving, that's the main thing that just puts me off. As soon as I see these move, just looks like something like Empire Earth or something like that, where I think they had bad movement in that as well, like one of the earlier ones at least. Empire Earth 2 maybe. The supply is like completely changed, it's completely different shape. The way the camera pans around just looks a bit weird as well. Mario Josh, cheers for donation, man. No problem.
Thanks for the Generals 2 commentary. Agree with most of the things you say.
Thanks, man. I mean, one thing is different that you probably could say is a good thing, but people are going to complain about it because that's not what they used to. It's when those... Oh no, I suppose it does happen. Like when a tank fires in Generals, when a Crusader or a Paladin or a Battlemaster shoots, it fires and it hits its target and it's pretty much instant. But when those things are firing there, it fires a projectile and then it lands and then it explodes. It's kind of acting like a missile defender. I suppose it's like a buggy actually. Buggies do that as well. But like, look, you can't place stuff because it's red because your troops are there. No, you place it and they move out of the way. That's the way Generals works. I like these squares here. Like, nobody wants squares. You want to be able to place a building literally anywhere. Nobody wants to see these squares. Nah, nobody. And you don't rotate buildings 45 degrees at a time or 90 degrees at a time. You want to be able to place a building any angle you want, like Generals. Like, okay, you're going to change the way everything looks, but at least like keep things the same. You're completely changing it. Why would you lock it to 90 degrees only? Like just the crane and all that kind of stuff, it just looks cartoony and weird. Cartoony and weird, and then you got this guy here, this here, it just looks cartoony, like trading card game kind of style. So yeah, generally, but it's mainly the way the units are moving. I mean, the cool fire effect, but you see the way it just rotates? It just rotated almost instant. I suppose it does that in Generals as well, but I think they just interact with the terrain better in Generals. It's definitely got potential, but you just need to... I mean, even if you're going to keep all of this new stuff, just get rid of this trading card style stuff and change the UI to be more like a proper game. I don't know, it just feels a bit weird. It feels like a bit too... Is it arcadey is the word? I don't know. Why is the Chinook gone from a Chinook to this whatever this is, and why is it now moving at like 1% of the speed, or why is the supply like unrecognizable? You'd at least like keep it some kind of resemblance to the previous game. It's just changed everything. Like, what even unit is that? Like something out of Shockwave. What even unit is it? You can't call that USA. What is it? Too futuristic? Why is some of them on fire? I guess they're taking damage. I don't like this white thing over him as well. OPA games are watching. That victory screen. Why has it got all this electric stuff all over it? It's supposed to be USA or Russia or something. Yeah, they've just changed everything, and just all of them little things that I just added up, they all amalgamate into like a completely different experience, not the zero that we want to play. So yeah, little rant on Generals 2 there for you. Yeah, hopefully EA Games is watching. If you do want to support maybe a campaign that we're going to do for EA, maybe in like the month of February, I'm going to be like tweeting them and tagging them on Instagram and stuff over a period of days, doing a number of videos, hopefully try and get their attention, maybe do a little bit of a rant video at them, call it a video called A Message to EA, something like that. Yeah, if you want to support that, the best thing you can do is follow me on Twitter, DoMiNaToR UK, and follow me on Instagram, DoMiNaToR UK on there as well, as you can see here. And yeah, I'm on Facebook as well. But yeah, Instagram probably one of the good places, and Twitter one of the good places, because you can get hold of companies and tag them and stuff on there more easy than I think you can on Facebook. So yeah. Also, if you're new around here, subscribe, and if you enjoyed the series we saw today, don't forget to drop a like. GG. Stream's going to end here, and I'll hopefully see you a little bit later in the week. So GG's, and see you very soon.